Well, let's.
And he's like the most attractive one too.
Let's be effective right now.
You don't think so?
Well, he's gotten thicker, I guess.
I don't like being in
The shade, I can't short. You didn't hear?
He wants to hear.
Wait,
You'll put me in the corner.
He's got.
no, I don't want you in the corner.
I like this balance. I love this balance.
You got the chair up high.
They both did it.
Yeah, lower
Sure,
down.
Where is it for me? Because
I'm sure that always.
On your right side.
Just take it down.
Y'all see it? Okay. Ooh! Okay.
He didn't even go nowhere.
I dropped. You don't see how I dropped?
You done dropped it lower than that.
Okay.
Ooh. Wait. Oh, you look fine. You look fine. Everybody. Yeah, y'all look fine.
All right, come on.
Wait, Mikhail. Oh, you linked over.
Yeah.
That's why.
I ain't know I'm gonna get all these lights.
What? Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikhail. We are back with another video. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend as we are so far. I think this is going to be a loud video, so if you're watching with your headphones on, please turn the shit down. If you're watching us for the first time, Mikhail and I, me and Mikhail, are the hosts of the show. So please subscribe.
The shade is
To our
already too
channel.
thick. Where's the knife?
It's no
Somebody
shade.
got to know who's in charge.
Yes.
Who's the
And
boss?
they-
Okay.
You know, we're being nice and letting them sit in our seats, okay? So,
Is that how you treat guests?
hey,
Listen.
that's how you be nice and let them sit there.
We're winning.
I'm not a guest. I'm a co-host.
Coco. Okay, I know that's right.
I don't know about
Melanin.
that.
Coco.
But if you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe to our channel. Everyone watching, please click the like button and share this video to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or wherever you choose to share this video. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I am doing a multi-camera angle thing, and I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I was wondering, he looking over there, looking over there.
I've never done it.
James Cameron team right now, directing team.
So if I get it wrong, please don't be so upset with me.
Right.
I'm just trying to get the shit right for the first time, doing something different in the show. You always say it's the same, so we're doing something different.
Yes.
So Kevin, you get a producer credit.
Yes, I've always been a producer.
Well, cinematographer credit.
cinematographer.
Yeah, cinematographer today.
You know, I'm stepping my
You
shit
got
up
3
there.
cameras.
Yes. So we got the main thing we're gonna be talking about is the election, but you know a lot of stuff happened, and I asked you guys on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, mainly on Instagram. I didn't even say. I don't know why I say Facebook and Twitter. What topics would you guys like for us to discuss? And you know stuff like Gabrielle Union giving birth came up, and I didn't even know she was pregnant through a surrogate. I didn't. She didn't say anything.
So
it's there.
Because I'm about to say,
Yeah,
I know
But
definitely.
you know what's so funny? Because when I saw the pictures on the shade room, she was in the hospital.
Yeah, like she gave birth.
You know,
Like she pulled the. She pulled the.
I mean, she had
She put a Janet.
The Beyonce.
all I'm gonna say is, I have no
At least
comment.
Beyonce and Janet got kids. Ashanti.
No comment.
Ashanti know better.
She ain't got a man.
She know better because she's tired. She don't get cheated on, and it's thicker. You know, we're not even gonna do that.
All I'm gonna say is that
you're you're elected official.
all I'm gonna say is
You're
that
elected
this was,
official.
anyway, this was the most convincing role I saw Gabrielle Union in.
Yeah.
You know,
So
And the hot
So am I.
The
Because I'm
shade.
like, wait, because she's
it was the most convincing.
She's horrible.
I mean, when the
I said
photos.
she played
Being
the same
Mary
person.
Jane.
I liked her being Mary Jane though.
Because it was on BT. Nobody.
I really liked that show. The storyline was good, and it wasn't even just her storyline. It was the family storyline.
Okay,
that
well,
made the show
here's the
good.
thing about that. But Gabrielle, you know, like I said, I saw the photos. I mean, you could see she looked like she was distressed.
Yes.
And no shade though. But I
She
thought,
was sweaty.
You know what the shade was? I was like, did Dwayne Evans have another? You know,
Dwayne Evans. Dwayne Wade.
Wayne. Okay.
Dwayne Evans. She made him an elected official.
He's not winning no more rings.
The White
I forgot.
Evans.
So that's how y'all know.
Dwight Evans or
That's how
Dwayne Wade,
y'all
which
care about
one?
sports. But Mr. Wade, I was wondering to myself, I was like, was this the the special child they had? You know, was this his break baby? I didn't know.
No, he had that baby a few years ago.
I know,
which
but
is the
I know
reason
it was
why
another one. This time they wanted to claim
She
it.
wrote the book, We Gonna Need More Wine, because he had that break baby.
Well, I thought this was another break baby,
you don't
and
need wine
maybe
for
they
that. You need
made
a
the baby
whole-
a surrogate. I
That's the shit.
don't know. I just thought that would make some sense.
Yana.
And God,
No, y'all need
you
to
don't
fix
have
your own
no
life.
baby on break.
You're
What happened?
Fix our own
I
life.
like how they
Don't-
remember that girl told her,
And
I'll
this
beat her the
is
fuck
That's
up.
on our show.
I've met her. I like her, but I
That
just
little
think
girl
she
fixed
needs
her
to
life.
spend the time fixing other things.
Right.
You don't know if she needs to fix her own life.
She does a damn good job fixing others' lives.
You do she?
Yes. You want to fix you?
She needs to come here and fix their life.
Because DMX is back in jail. She clearly didn't fix his life.
Well, I
That's
mean,
because DMX is
He didn't want. You gotta want to do the work.
what about the Braxtons?
Well,
about 'em?
all of them. All of them.
Tamar's still crazy.
All of them wanted to
She
do the
probably
work.
more crazy
except for
now
two.
after leaving the show.
There was
Just
two
saying.
in the Braxtons who didn't want to do the work. Tamar and her mother.
Okay, but the thing is, she's not saying anything that I don't think they know already. And when she's talking about do the work, they should have been doing the work before they came to the show.
They should have been doing the work.
She telling me, oh, you're not
But
doing this work, so
sometimes
I'm
you need.
leaving.
Sometimes you need a middleman or another voice to
Right.
help you out in things that you know that you should be doing.
And they chose
But-
her?
Well, yeah. Why
Oh
not?
my God.
I don't know
Why
what she's
not?
doing.
She knows what she's doing.
She got the mother together, the father
Yes,
together,
she did.
Tamar together.
Yes, she did. And that's the first time I ever seen somebody other than Tracy get the mother.
Mother got the mother need to be gathered.
Okay.
Because she's the reason why the family got issues.
Because okay.
It was good to watch.
Because the mother is Tamar.
Okay?
Tamar is what the mother don't say.
I'm happy they all got paid.
Well,
This
paid
time.
or not.
I don't know if they got paid.
Yeah, paid or not. It
Well,
doesn't
that was a
matter.
waste of time.
But they are the Braxtons are a good show on WeTV, and they are the longest black family reality show on TV.
And Iyanla is a good show too.
Yeah, and her show, she's been around. For
Is she
7
number
years.
one on though?
I don't think she's number one.
Wait, T.I. family
Oh,
not?
okay,
No,
okay.
T.I.'s family not?
T.I. got a new show with the family.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say that hustle show been going on
Family,
Yeah,
forever.
but had the hustle still been going on, they would have been the longest.
That was the hustle.
They ran out of things to hustle.
Yeah.
Oh, what you
Yeah,
say?
They ran out of things to hustle. Yeah, because Tiny got tired and she went over to Mayweather.
No, T.I. got... Well, T.I. got tired.
He got tired too. He went over
hustling
to
everybody.
Bernice.
Y'all
They
not
got
going
tired of each other. It
Listen,
just wasn't working
don't
no more.
come for Tiny because
My
the
God.
line that he said, well, were y'all at
She
odds?
should be honored that T.I. chose her.
Ooh.
No.
Wait a
No,
minute.
no, hold on, wait. I got this.
She
No,
should.
I got
She
this.
should be humble.
No, I got
Whoa.
this. I got
She
this.
should be humble.
Tiny had a career before T.I.
Yes, she did.
She had a career, a
A
legacy
successful
before a
career.
successful
She
career,
was
and it was her support.
Let's not
that
act
got
like
him there.
Escape
He had
was
no
Destiny's
position.
Child. Let's not even act like Escape
It
was
wasn't, but let's
Escape
not.
is a great
But let's
group.
not.
It was. I like
Wait a minute.
Escape.
Wait a
I like
minute.
Escape.
Wait a minute.
But no, but don't try to make
Because-
it seem like Tiny was.
But
this-
Tiny was still bringing in money because
and
she was
she's
writing
still
songs.
bringing money to the
She
day.
was writing
But they got
songs
nothing to do
for
with her
other people.
face.
She was writing songs
We
for
ain't
other
talking about
people.
face. We talking about career.
I think T.I. chose her because
No, you don't know why you
normally
chose her.
men
You don't know
choose
what she
women
did to help
based
his
off their
career.
face and their body.
She might have gave him some money to help his career pop.
Right.
You never know.
Because ain't nobody know who T.I. was when she first
Okay,
started.
but here's the other thing though. They also have kids together. So
Yeah.
if she was
And
that
a whole-
ugly or whatever,
Mark-
they got a whole
Mark-
family.
She probably got
Kids
some
having
good.
babies with her.
She got some good
Yeah.
stuff.
And even
To
when
the
he
point
went
where
to
I
jail, she
can't tell
wrote
which is
her.
his and which is
Love is a crazy drug, and clearly T.I. was taking all of it.
Don't do that.
Oh, that's not nice, Diggy. Yeah.
That's honest.
Looks are not
But we gonna-
everything.
Yeah.
But it's the thing that's gonna get me in your
Yeah.
bed. Honestly,
Well, she probably did other things.
because you want to be here and you want to be fake and be a different.
I'm not being fake.
Yes,
But
you
let's
are.
not act like
Yes,
the
you
Shanti
are.
Sideburns was a stick.
Ashanti's a gorgeous girl. A gorgeous girl.
She couldn't get a man
and
either.
your
Ashanti
girl,
was
your
a
girl
gorgeous
husband
Yeah,
is
and
a
think about
camel.
it. Yes,
And he
he
should be
is.
lucky
With
that
billions
she
and
chose
billions
him.
of dollars.
And it is a such thing as a
Ashanti would
ugly
be,
millionaire.
she would be happy to
He's
find a
an
man like
ugly
that.
millionaire.
What are you talking about?
Jay-Z.
They're
He's ugly.
billionaires, ain't they?
No, not yet. He didn't cross the line.
You don't know what
I
he
just
crossed.
feel like
I
it's
think
the-
together.
I think
Together
No,
they
it's
are.
not. We're judging Jay-Z
Hold
right
on,
now.
hold on.
Don't judge him because
Hold on.
Ashanti
Carters.
got a man. Ashanti can't.
Ashanti got one too.
No,
Hold on.
I'm on my business.
Hold
I'm not gonna
on.
say it on this
I'm gonna
camera.
say all this.
But Ashanti has a man.
Hold on, why
It's
you
not your
wait?
business.
Okay, so you ugly shaving people.
Yes.
Do you got somebody?
I'm single and
Okay,
happy.
that's okay.
I'm single and happy.
All right.
I'm not saying nothing.
I'm just saying.
I ain't got nobody else. I'm
shaving.
single too. But he ugly.
I'm not
shaming
shaming
everything
nobody.
We all know Jay-Z ain't the cat's meow.
We was talking
But
about
at least,
Tiny.
but at least,
we were talking
but
about
at least,
Tiny.
but
On a
Beyonce
certain
through
day.
thick and thin.
On a certain
They
know.
still in there together. They've been together since 2001. That's a long
Right
fucking
before
time.
that.
Right before that.
It's people that there's we have grandmothers and
But now she's
great grandmothers that have been with their husbands
That's what I was
longer than
saying.
that.
She was young at that time.
But we're not going to
she's of age.
celebrate a length of relationship just because they've been together that long. Like, I mean, I don't know exactly what they've been talking
But we ain't gonna bash somebody because
cheated.
they look either.
I'm not, okay, now
You
you want
were.
to turn this on me?
You
Because
said it.
She's not attractive.
Oh my God!
She's not attractive and he's more humble.
And he's still saying it.
Yeah.
Before the
So
surgery,
y'all
I don't think
agree.
anybody at this table.
Write in the
Listen,
comments
I
if
don't
you think I'm lying.
I don't think anybody at this table plans on sleeping with Tiny.
Okay,
anytime
but hold on.
soon.
Now,
You stated
or Jay-Z.
Or
Or
Jay-Z.
see,
But you couldn't anyway.
Right. And the thing is, I would say with all the money they got, I'd be lucky if they chose me. That's what I'm saying. She just need to be humble and be.
But who said she's not humble?
You cheated with the man arch enemy.
But T.I. cheated on her left and right.
Hold on.
And probably
At least he found someone who at least looks better.
Wait a minute.
She went with an idiot.
No,
that man can't even read a book.
Bernice Burgos is not the only person he cheated on.
Hold on.
That's the only way I know.
No, okay, well, you educate yourself.
Educate real well.
Mayweather can't read a picture book. Okay, slept with him.
Okay, but hold on, wait a minute. You all over the place. Hold on, let me get you together.
No.
Floyd Mayweather
You can
look
get
good.
me together, but I'm already together.
Floyd
Because I don't have a man. I know better.
No.
Men
Floyd
cheat and they treat
Mayweather
you like trash,
Floyd
and I know better.
Hold on, Floyd Mayweather is a good-looking man.
Yes, he is.
He might be dumb.
Yes, he is.
Look good.
Yes,
T.I.
I'm not
dumb
Like a
leaving
lot of these guys on the corner.
A lot of
That's
guys
why I'm
are
not
fucking with
them.
Ernest, though.
But they dumb.
But
I don't want them. No, thank you. Keep your dumb ass over there.
okay, but let me say
But
this.
some of them good for sex.
Hold on.
Some dummies are good for sex.
That's not neither here nor there.
Yeah, it is.
Here's what I'm saying.
Yes, it is.
What I'm gonna
Because you could get them real good.
Okay.
Give them a shower.
Clean them real good.
Okay.
And let me clean
Okay.
Because you don't know how to clean
And
your
that's why I'm
shower.
still single. Look, I know better.
obviously.
You want them and you done
I just want to say this.
Sit them home. Don't you keep them. Don't end up like Beyonce and be married to a camel. Don't do it.
Okay, but all I'm gonna say here is that at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather is a decent looking man. He's still talking.
That's all
tiny.
he got.
He's still talking.
He got
tiny.
But why you got so much
Let me
anger
finish.
towards this?
Let me
I
finish.
don't.
Because at the end of the day, she got a fine-looking man that loves her.
Two
and
of
he's still, two of them.
Why?
He still got zero. Tiny two, Diggy zero. So you can't
You
get
know
mad
who I
at her.
got? Who loves me? I don't have nobody I'm claiming. I know who claims me.
Oh, who claims
You
you?
should mind your business.
Well, I can be
Diggy
honest
is
with
so
you.
upset.
I can tell y'all right now, ain't nobody claiming me, but that's all right.
But you're not bashing Tiny though.
No, I'm not.
Exactly.
No, I'm
Let
not. You know why?
live.
Because Tiny got a man.
That's right.
And
Tiny
in a house.
and money.
And kids.
And a career and a legacy.
Cars.
And hits that stick like grit.
And Grammys and everything.
Thank you.
Okay.
And hits that stick like grit.
And a ASCAP award for the Golden Hanger or whatever the fuck it's called.
You better
Golden
do
Mike
it.
or somebody.
She got about 6
Songwriters, something.
And kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So Tiny
everything.
do
I ain't
She
mad at
do.
Tiny.
She do.
I ain't mad at
She
Tiny.
went to jail for her man.
Yes, she
Right.
did.
A lot.
And y'all should be proud of these things.
Well, no, I wouldn't let my girl go to jail, but you know what? I'm not them.
But she's a rider though.
Yeah, I'm not
She's
them.
So
right.
I don't understand when we get to this point in life where we celebrate people being dumb. That's a dumb decision. I'm not
No,
going to judge nobody.
This
I'm not
conversation
doing that.
started off with you bashing her looks.
Yeah.
We is, but now we're at that point now where we're celebrating
Let's stick to
her
where
being
it's
a
It's not
not.
about
rider.
celebrating.
You
It's
saw
called
you were
for
back
better
in the
or worse.
That's
It's called
right.
for better.
Yeah, but my thing is if you did the crime, you do the time because I'm not doing time for no
well,
fucking
well,
crime.
that's why you're single.
And I like it this way. I've only been to
Me
jail.
too.
And
Me too.
if
all
me
these
getting a
years-
man means I gotta go to jail, I'll be single
Well, sometimes
for the
you gotta
rest
do
of
what you
my
gotta
life.
do.
And after all these years, they taking care of each other. They all right. They know they.
I mean,
they-
I wanna
they
say,
playing right.
Next topic.
Oh, this is no topics. We just go.
Who's the host?
I'm not going
Ernest,
in.
who's
I'm
the
not
host?
going in.
Go ahead.
On this
I'm
woman.
with Ernest. Yeah.
Who's
I'm
the
not
host?
going in on this woman.
Next topic.
All right, then you lost on that.
She is living her best life.
I lost.
Let her live.
Okay. So the elections. So the elections were.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now they gonna drag me. Just stop my damn comments. I'm gonna stop
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who went out and voted on Tuesday. A lot of people were sending me pictures of them voting. People were sending me pictures of them voting early and taking their moms and with other people. Shout out to y'all for voting. I think that a lot of us went out and voted. And I was excited for the midterms. I was really excited. But it wasn't the blue wave that we all thought it would be.
But it was a win.
But it was, yeah,
A
because
category two. A category two. A category two.
Yeah, it wasn't a category 4,
I
but
think,
it
I
was a
think
category 2.
it was a rainbow wave. It was a lot of mixed
It went from
things
tropical
happening.
storm to a hurricane.
Yeah.
Just not a big
Just-
hurricane.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't Katrina.
maybe a category 1.
Don't do that. It was a bitch.
Like,
If it was Katrina, can you imagine Donald Trump's press conference yesterday?
Let me tell you something.
I had time.
fire.
I had time like he had time.
Yesterday,
I watched
was the
the
first
whole
time I
thing.
watched
The
a whole, like the only
He
one.
only did 2. He only did 2 in his whole
Yeah.
That
presidential
hour
career.
and 20 minutes I got
He's
My
old.
life.
He's
He,
old.
let me tell you something. He don't like doing those, but I want him to do more.
More.
Yes.
And
the
more.
way he was telling them, sit down, it's not your day. I said, yeah.
He said, look, he told the guy from
down,
CNN, he
sit
said,
down.
you have no respect and you should be, CNN should be ashamed to
Well,
hire
he told
you.
April Ryan, sit down, I'm not talking to you.
And she shouldn't have got up.
She shouldn't have.
Yeah, she should have waited till they called him.
But you know what
This
was
is
wrong?
not the Wild
But you know what's wrong about that press
Out.
conference? Even though he was disrespecting, they were still pressed to get dragged.
Yes, they were.
It kept asking
Because it's good TV.
We're like, Mr. President, I'm like,
And
you
then
still wanna talk
it
to
kept
him?
saying, Mr. President, he told you, shut up. Mr. President, I got a question.
And he would say, hurry up, that's not a good question. Hurry up, come on, come on.
He said,
Yes.
the guy said, I'm not thinking, he said, you never do.
But I would never vote
When
the
the guy,
guy.
when the guy took up for Jim Acosta, he said, well, I don't like you.
Did you see the lady who walked up to Acosta and tried to grab the mic out of his hand?
Yes, and that was
Intern, it was intern. Wow.
that was an intern, and,
Oh my God.
and they're really trying to make it seem like he blocked her hand. Like no, he was talking. Well, you know when you
And
talk,
she invaded his
and
space.
she rolled up like, what did you do?
Yes.
She
He
invaded
didn't
his
hit
space.
her, so now he got his White House press credentials taken away.
Yeah, that was nice.
The White House Correspondents Association was like, this is wrong. CNN, you know, everybody is defending Jim Acosta.
But see, that's it. But see, anybody who watched that saw what happened. He never not once touched her.
Yeah.
He never not once touched her.
Yeah.
When she went to reach, he went, wait a minute,
and she
I'm
went
not done.
to grab that microphone.
See, the sad thing
after.
about it is that all happened because of how Donald Trump feels about Jim Acosta and how he feels about CNN.
But he
Oh,
shouldn't
but hold on,
have
That's
called
why
him.
that
But
shit.
wait, but
Yeah, you shouldn't have called
No,
him.
but the other thing though too is that I think he was just showing his frustration about losing the midterm.
Yeah.
He was a
yeah,
sourpuss.
Exactly.
He was a loser.
Even
and
though he
people
tried to
was
make
egging-
it seem like, oh, no, we did.
Everybody was, and they were egging him on with those questions, so he was a ticking time bomb.
Yes,
and I
he
kept
was.
watching like somebody gonna piss him off.
Yes,
Who
he
he
Did you
gonna
see when he
make an example of?
pasting? I said they getting him. Because when he walked away from the podium and came back,
He was over Jim Acosta.
he was
Oh, yeah.
over him.
He ready to take
He
him
was
out.
irritated. And listen, even after they got the mic away from him, he
Hilarious.
continued to cuss him out.
John
The man
Trump
didn't even have the mic
Donald
on.
Trump,
made
that press conference was hilarious. Like I can't stand Donald Trump,
Right.
but I love to see him like that because, like you said, this is the second time in his presidency that he's done a press
Yeah.
conference, and you can tell that
Oh,
that's
he's
not
not
his
that
forte.
anymore.
No.
It's not his forte at all.
No.
He doesn't really know how to handle that,
He
and I
likes
think
the attention from
yeah, and see,
Oh,
Donald
yeah.
Trump likes to be in control, and if you notice too, he really wasn't in control, or he couldn't be in control because of the fact that every time somebody was asking him a question, he was answering them before they were even finished the question.
he won't let
and they were
them
like,
finish
you know,
the
I haven't
question.
finished the
But
question.
you know, but he's used to be on a boardroom,
Yeah.
making
All
all
the
the
time.
rules
Yeah, making
and
all the
doing
rules,
it.
yeah.
And now we got people
Yeah.
where
Questioning
they have
him.
to
Now he has people
have a
questioning him.
conversation.
Whereas
You know,
he
like
didn't
that.
used to
But
nobody
see, the
question.
thing is, I think that the journalists need to stick together.
Yeah,
If you want
I
to take
agree.
somebody press pass, how about y'all just boycott doing the White House?
That's why as a journalist, my whole
Because that's what he wants though. I don't.
But
I
why
don't
not
agree
just do
with-
it? He likes the attention.
I
agree
agree with
with
Diggy. I agree with Diggy. That's what Donald Trump wants.
He
because
wants them to
because
not
at the
come.
end of the day, Donald Trump could give
No,
two
let me
shits
tell you
about-
something.
For this to him to be
Donald
almost
Trump
2 years.
loves the media.
Yeah, he
This
does.
is all
But for
just
this
for
to be
his
He
2
don't
years
like
into
them
his
inside the White
presidency,
House. He
and
don't want them there.
January would be 2 years since he's been president, and for him to only do 2 press conferences in 2 years.
No,
like, he don't give a fuck about
he do like press conferences.
No,
yeah, when he's walking to the helicopter.
No, I'm talking about he did one for.
Charlottesville and this one. That's
Hold
what
on,
I'm
well, I
saying.
want to clarify. Let me, as a journalist, I'll say 2 things. So he does. That's the first like press conference he does with the press in that kind of way. Normally
Yeah.
he makes press briefings where he go up and he'll speak,
Right.
but he doesn't take questions.
But he
That's on
doesn't
the,
take
that's on
questions.
the White House
Right,
line.
right.
So it's the second
That's
one
a
he's done
difference.
as an actual press conference. He normally does it where he's at the White House line. He makes an announcement. They try to ask him
Ask him
questions,
questions,
but
but he walks
and
off.
He gives
Right.
announcements.
Right.
So
Right.
the thing about what y'all are saying about this, my whole take on it is, I think there's some yes and no to this, right? As a journalist, part of me is like, you know, yeah, y'all should you should stay there and fight the good fight. But I really want to say something. Part of me feels like the real stories that come out about Trump are not coming out from the people that go to those press conferences. It's the people that's doing that Rowan Farrell, who's doing all them investigative stories and doing that stuff over
That's where
there.
the stories are coming from.
You can find ways to crack into the White House without even stepping foot in the White House.
That's
If
right.
you're talking to people there, you got insiders, you
Because
got
people
people.
there's chatty
They
catties in
chatty,
there.
they telling
Yep.
everything. So to me, you don't really have to really be in the
there.
press conference. And the people that's there, I'm not trying to throw shade at some of them, but when you looking like April Ryan and some of these people, I'm not seeing them break any news
There you
coming
go.
in the White
They're not
House.
really saying
They're
that.
too busy being in the news themselves. I feel like I'm hearing more about you on the news,
Get about
but
that
then you
shit.
when
But
you're
wait a
journalist, you
minute,
can be producing
let's see.
news.
Because I feel the same way. I love seeing that.
I love
but
it.
I feel the same way about Jim Acosta.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, Jim Acosta, you're not really breaking any news. You're just always the news.
He's
You're
challenging the White
he
House.
is challenging the White
And
House.
because he's the
but I
only
want
one
him to at least break some news instead of always being the news.
He's a reporter.
But but let me push back on that. Because to me, Trump likes that.
Yeah.
The more he can keep y'all distracted in the antics of his press conference, he know what he's doing. He likes to start shit. He likes to be the center of attention. Because let me tell you what's funny. While they were talking about that press conference, what was going on in these states with these runoffs? What are the updates on these Senate seats that are still up for grabs that people are still trying to figure out? He was too busy trying to make this circus. Notice that every time a major thing happens, Trump does something stupid and everybody runs
nobody did it.
shooting. Every time the shooting happens, there will always be something that's
But not only that, he fired the attorney general. Right after he made
so now that's news.
Now,
so you don't want to talk about
that.
Oh yeah, but Trump is smart when it comes to
absolutely.
Let me tell you something. I can't stand him. But I have to admit that he is a smart
He's
dummy.
strategic.
He really is because, like you said, every time something major happens,
he distracts you.
The Democrats, like you said, the Democrats did not. They had a Category 2 hurricane, but we were still excited about that hurricane. But it's a day later or minutes later. Jeff Sessions is fired. So now we're no longer talking about the Democrats winning the House. We're now talking about
we ain't got to keep talking about
But see,
no.
the thing is, but see, this is our moment. Those of us that are Democrats, those of us that voted, this is our moment to celebrate. But now we can't celebrate because now we're talking about what Donald Trump did.
See, that's the
Donald
problem.
Trump is the news again.
I think that's the problem. We celebrating and partying too fucking much. Now what we need to do is start working. We need to start working for 20. That's not enough.
No,
we need to start working on 2020.
Yeah, you're right.
And Joe Biden, if you fucking running, you need to come out and say something.
How do you feel about what's in that? I agree too.
I don't care about.
How do y'all feel about Andrew Gillum running in 2020? You think
No.
You can't win Florida. How you gonna win?
No.
How you gonna win 50 states?
I'm just asking.
I think
That's the bad thing because he didn't win.
He didn't win.
If he would have won, we would
I
have
feel like
different.
I feel like he conceded a little
I'm
too
not trying
early.
to throw shade.
And I was upset when he
That's not.
conceded.
I'm not trying to throw shade, but has he one other major big race?
He's a mayor.
Well, he was a mayor.
But that's what I'm saying. That ain't a seat. Like Obama, when he ran for president, he was already a senator.
He was a state senator, a U.S. senator.
And he was a U.S. senator. You gotta climb before
Okay,
you
not
leap.
2020, but maybe 20 what?
2024.
Or
Maybe,
2020.
but
We gotta worry about it then, though. We gotta get to 2020 right now. And Andrew Gillum is not on my short list.
He's
Beto O'Rourke being
No.
the VP.
He
Potentially.
What about
VP.
Kamala Harris?
Kamala Harris, I'm not in love with her. I like Kamala
I'm gonna
Harris.
tell you,
I think she
what
would help. I
needs
think she
to
would
be
help bring
done.
the female vote for Joe Biden.
I don't know. A white woman can do it. A white woman.
White woman ain't gonna vote for a black woman.
Yeah, because they didn't vote for her.
And white men ain't gonna vote for a black woman.
Why not? They vote for Oprah.
79%.
For 25 years, half of Oprah's audience was white women.
But they have to
But they
vote.
gonna vote for
barely
her.
saw
They're not gonna
And
vote
guess
for
what? They
her.
all buy Beyonce's albums. They love our black asses, but they do not
No,
vote.
People
They not
don't
gonna
even
vote for
got
us.
Beyonce albums.
Yeah, well, that's all
Anymore?
right. But they be in that concert, jumping and screaming.
But they're not gonna vote for her
$100,000
though. They're not gonna make
Everybody
Beyonce the
different
governor
president.
of Texas. They're not gonna make her the
I wouldn't make
governor.
it a governor of Texas either. But that's but I don't live in Texas.
I wouldn't make it
So
a
you ain't gotta worry about
I wouldn't make it a mayor of Houston. But
Watch
it's
it,
all
okay?
good.
I think that Joe Biden needs to start now, and we need someone like Joe Biden. We don't need Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders.
No.
coming
No, we
on.
don't.
No.
Then thank you.
Stay out.
Thank you. Stay home,
We
Bernie.
need-
Okay, so
Bernie
now.
is 77.
Let me finish.
I'm
Let
not
me finish
I'm
this.
not trying to
Hold
finish.
up.
Joe
And I'm gonna
Biden can be
talk.
78
Let
in
him talk.
2020.
Because y'all talking about my candidate of choice. Let him finish.
Let me finish
please.
this. We need Joe Biden to do this now
Mm-hmm.
because Donald Trump has raised $100
$1
million.
million.
Okay,
And it ain't even 2020
You
yet.
can compete with that.
Yeah.
If you coming down the steps in May 2019 saying I'm running for president next year,
Right.
he needs to do it now, and we need a name that we know
Mm-hmm.
because nobody from the Democratic Party has really stepped up. And I'm tired of Maxine Waters. And I'm
I'm
tired of hearing
tired
about
too.
Nancy Pelosi.
I am too.
I am tired of them. We need a new, fresh face.
Because ain't nobody white voting for
And we
Maxine
need to
Waters.
keep Kamala Harris
Nobody
in the
white.
Senate right now. I think we need to keep her there
Yeah.
and keep her on the committee.
But
But who
it's-
can be Joe Biden's running mate?
But
I
this
said Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke.
Two white men, two white
You
straight
need a
men,
fresh face for
and
the
an old
Democratic
old
Party.
face is gonna
Yeah.
not scare people.
And see, Joe Biden, the reason why I like Joe Biden as somebody going against Donald Trump, because Joe Biden is flip at the lip too.
Yeah.
He may not be as nasty
I
as
was
Donald
gonna
Trump,
say-
but he's
Can you
a
imagine that
smarter
debate?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm going to say. The only thing, and you know it's crazy because I read an article today. the guy who did Fahrenheit 9/11, Michael Moore. So Michael Moore said that Kamala Harris, and he said that he named somebody else. He said Kamala Harris and somebody else can't beat Donald Trump. The only person that can beat Donald Trump is who brings the same exact energy that he brings. We're in a time in this country right now where people clearly want to be entertained, and entertainment is the only thing that's going to get you to that White House.
But who do you think can beat?
I'm going to say Joe Biden is the only one, because Joe Biden has shown us already he wants to take him behind a dumpster or behind the bleachers and fight him. So my thing is,
and guess what? I'll be the lookout.
So the presidential debates for 2020 are going to be the most. I'm going to predict this now. If Joe Biden becomes the Democratic nominee,
which you will,
the presidential debates in 2020 are going to be the highest rated debates that we've ever seen. I'm going to predict that now. If Joe Biden,
and I'm not even looking at Joe Biden as far as age-wise, because if Joe Biden does win, he will be the oldest president.
Well, Trump is currently the oldest of the century.
Well, see, he's elected. He's the oldest, but Reagan still holds that title, because when Reagan won his second term, Reagan was older than what Trump is now. So Reagan still holds that. But if Biden wins, then he will beat Reagan and Trump as being old, because then by 2020 he'll be 78 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that means by 2024 I'll be ready for him to go, because he'll be 82.
He'll be 82.
And I'll be like 82-year-old president.
But there's a lot of senators in the thing that's still in their 80s, you know.
And that's why.
Did we see what just happened today?
Let me tell you something. I thought about this today. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is retiring after what happened to her today.
Next year.
But I think after what happened to her today, she's 85 and she fractured 3 ribs. That's going to be another.
She's not going nowhere until.
I think she
said she's not. She said she's not. She better not. Because if she do,
first of all,
me and her going to have a conversation. If
it's
she
going to take her a long
time.
The weird thing is, I had a dream like something happened to her, and then today
this happened.
And if y'all had the Bible right here, I wouldn't be lying. Like, I just want her.
I feel like you said something before.
I want her to be in good health.
I do too. Because she's a fighter, but see the thing is, age-wise, she's 85.
I don't care what kind of health she is.
And I feel like after this, I feel like she's probably. Who's to say if she recovers well from this?
Well, all I got to tell people is that elections have consequences, and if you want to vote the right way,
this will be a third fucking seat.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't care what kind of health she's in. She could be on life support. Keep her ass on that court.
I just think people.
I don't care.
All I'm saying is that 2020, if they really want to save the country, if he gets another term, we are done.
Yes, we are done.
For the rest of the 2000s.
Yes, we are.
The first century, we're done.
If he wins again, I'll be just a kid.
I just throw it away. Throw it away. Throw the country right now.
This is why.
I'm going to Canada.
I'll be doing this show via Skype.
I'm going to Canada.
Yeah.
I'm going to Canada.
This is why people need to be voting.
Yeah.
Because y'all see we got these recounts now, and y'all people be like, "Oh, my vote don't count." Your vote does matter.
When you look at these numbers, 1,000 margins, 1,000
vote counts.
Yeah.
That could have been the whole hood. Could have been that. Could have been the whole block.
I knew my vote counted when I was a part of that wave that put a black family in the White House twice. I knew my vote counted. So then when I have people out there who say, oh, the vote don't count, this, that, and the third, I feel sorry for them, because, see, I grew up in a house where my parents made sure that my sister and I went out and voted. And I feel like, I wonder if some of these parents are teaching their kids that same thing. Yeah. And you know what I thought about, too, when I went to go vote the other day? I go inside of my old elementary school. Now, they have it sectioned off by names. And so my name is always in a certain part of this hallway. And then in the gym area, there is like all these other, voting places for different names or whatever. But when I went to go vote, I thought about you, because I remember when you said the last election that was had, you were number what?
Recently?
Remember you said you was number
28.
Not the one the other day, the last one before that.
Yeah, I think I was like number 28.
You were 28, and it was like 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And I remember because I went to go vote on Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning because I got off of work.
And you were like 50.
I was number 73, and that made me feel. And that was just in my section where I voted. Not talking about the sections inside of the.
Because they got different numbers.
You see what I'm saying? So it made me feel so good. So I'm like, dang, at 8:30 in the morning, the polls just opened at 7, and I'm number 73. I can only imagine by the time 8 o'clock comes. But see, that got me like, people are really energized. But I thought about you, because I'm like, it's a shame because whenever I hear about certain people not wanting to vote, I think of the area that they live in, and it's like, wow. Because then I thought about you, and I'm thinking like those people in Kevin's area,
they don't vote right.
They don't give a fuck. No, it's not even just as North Philly.
No, I'm saying,
it's
but
just
North
that
Philly has
some
low
people,
turnout. They have low turnout.
But then I start thinking about their upbringing. Like I wonder if their parents were even are their parents voters.
And whose name? I don't know if y'all know. I don't know if it's Dwight Evans or Daryl. I don't think it was Daryl Clark.
Daryl Clark is
but it's
council.
somebody that was a representative that voted in our district. I don't know who it was, but I was thinking like they don't campaign around here.
No,
you don't
they
see
don't.
no signs up. You don't see anything. And
Can
that
I speak on to that point because that's what I was going to say. So like I've actively worked on campaigns. Like Tuesday I worked 15 hours for a state rep. He won, but in my friends who like I have friends that tell me like I don't think my vote count. I will always tell them, well, let me take you to the result part that they have at the end. And I want you to pay attention to the person whose name is on the ballot and just watch their behaviors. You can tell that it counts because they get a nervous wreck. I want you to come to the campaign office and watch these people sit at the table and put in data. And I want you to watch how campaigns unfold, and you can clearly see that this is a real-time situation. Yeah. There's people that at the end of the day, when you vote, there's a ticket that comes out at the behind the voting booth that like I had to take back to the campaign office, and they're waiting for me to get there so that they can give an early projection of who's going to win. Like these are people's jobs. Yeah. They're
but they have
I want to say several things about all that. One is that I'm not saying I understand when people don't vote fully, but I'll say that it's complicated. You got three things going on. You got one where national races versus local races are two different things. Yeah. A lot of people get hype about national races for presidential races, for the congressional races, because they see that on TV. It's more glamorized. So they will show up every 4 years for presidential race. Local races are complicated where people really should be showing up to local races. But when you go to a lot of these local races, though, a lot of these races are not contested. So people really don't feel like their vote counts because if you go in and you look in and it's just straight Democrat and there's no opponents or you don't see no challengers, that's not a competitive race, so people don't really care enough. Right. But in all of these races, there's always some seats that even if you didn't want to vote for your state rep, that's uncontested. You got a congressional race, you got a Senate race, you got other races that are in the mix. And even with city council, like coming up in the spring, we're going to have city council races. Those races are going to be contested. But there's also a mayor race and other races happening. So I always tell people, if you don't like one race, still go to the polls because there might be some other races that you might care about.
And there's ballot questions that you need to worry about.
Valid,
we just approved a $500,000 funding for our cities that do our infrastructure.
But we also approved a $188 million loan.
Yeah, I said
for the city, $188 million loan, and that was people that voted yes. So that means y'all gonna be in some of y'all neighborhoods. We just further pushing gentrification, and some of y'all probably don't want that, and you didn't put no because you didn't show up. So I just tell people, at the end of the day, I'm not telling you who to vote for anymore. I'm just saying go to the polls and just look at different stuff at that point, because if you don't like one thing, you don't gotta vote for that person. But there may be other things you want to vote for. So I just want you to just go to the polls and just look
around
and just look.
And Kevin, the follow up on what you just said about politicians going to certain sections of the city. Think about it. If this is your job, you want to work harder, not work more. So what they do is they see the results, they see the turnouts in certain parts of the city. So when it's time for them to run for re-election, or if I'm the challenger and I'm looking at voting data, I'm going to go to the communities where the turnout is higher because I can potentially get a higher amount of vote. I'm not going to go to.
But you know what's so funny because that's kind of. But you know what's so funny.
That's why they take the black vote for granted because they feel like they don't have to go out to your neighborhood.
Well, you got to verbalize.
That's kind of like what's his name was saying though in 2012, Mitt Romney. Remember when he said when he made that comment about I'm only going to focus on people who
actually going to vote
or who vote for me.
And they made a big thing out of that.
And they made a big thing out. But when you think about it, it was like. This is kind of like how it is on a regular with these elections.
But
it was wrong that he said that, but I mean, it's true. He was being honest.
No, he was being honest. Yes. I don't necessarily know if this is a conspiracy theory or not, but there's a part of me that in some of these communities, Democrats and these black communities and stuff, they don't want to diversify the number of votes they get because they recognize they're going to have to be accountable to that many people. The only people that they are accountable to in black neighborhoods are those old senior citizens that will be voting forever until they die, and developers and those high elite property owners and business people. That middle group, they
Yeah,
don't care.
right.
They don't appeal to them. They don't want them to vote because if they show up to the polls too, then they would have to be accountable for all of these different blocks. And so as long as they can keep that church going, old school black vote that's gonna vote regardless.
That's why you always see these
and those money.
They don't never see them.
But they're never gonna go anywhere else because in their mind they're like, you don't matter and you don't care, and I don't want you to think I care about you. Because you're not gonna vote, and if you don't vote for me, I don't have to attend to you. And as long as these people are enough to get me in every time, I'm gonna show up to that.
That's true.
That's really what it is. So I have a conspiracy theory notion in my head that that's what's going on. But when you look at all these communities, like I live in West Philly, in the 190th district. Vanessa Laurie Brown, who just got convicted on all counts for accepting a $4,000 bribe.
Oh my God!
And
yes,
they
they had a commercial
Yeah.
on her.
She's going to
But did she
jail.
still win? Oh.
But
She still won, but she ain't deserved it.
The technicality is this.
And she still won.
But listen, let me say the
It's
fact.
not contested.
The thing was that her conviction came too close to the election, so they couldn't take her name off the ballot. But that's why
Like
she
Donald Trump's.
I'm about to just put my fucking name on something and see what
I'm
happens.
just done with
that's what
y'all.
I'm saying.
You have the right.
Anything
Get
but
it.
right.
What did Barack Obama say when he was in the White House? He
And
said, "Go get it. You don't like what's going on with your elected officials? Go get a clipboard and go knock some doors."
Yeah, 'cause they don't knock on this door. They'll mail you something. Whoa, whoa, bitch. Let's go do it. They just say, well, yeah, your polling place is. No, come out to the neighborhood and meet these people and see how they're living. Go to the schools and see what's going on at the schools too.
Well, they do.
Like,
They do
don't.
circulate
Ain't nobody coming down.
petitions. They do circulate petitions, and that's the time you really want to get to know the person because that's the most vulnerable
They only
position.
go
they're in.
to be honest, a lot of time when they go to petitions, they're not gonna go to the voting.
Yeah.
They go stand by these these subway stops.
But
where most people don't
that's
get in.
for city races. They can't do that in district races because the person might not live in a district.
All
Well,
I'm
see,
gonna
that's
say
why I love
is-
seeing all those Republican seats flip and seats that's been Republican for 40 years flip.
But that's
people
because
that
people
it
woke
be
up.
people that be taking these votes for
For granted,
granted.
they
All
do.
them people in City Hall, they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
And the mayor is doing nothing while
Yeah.
these young children are being killed every day.
Yeah.
And they're teenagers.
Yeah.
Shot, killed. When I was growing up, you didn't have that.
No, you
You
didn't.
hear shooting.
Yeah.
Not no teenage
Not
shootings.
kids, no.
Yeah.
No.
You right
You got
about that.
team with guns, and nobody is saying nothing. Like
I've
everybody sitting
never
around,
seen this amount of
they just
killing in
sitting
my life.
around getting
This is
hundreds of
crazy.
thousands of dollars a year and do nothing. They probably do something for their block,
Oh, yeah.
but they ain't doing that for everybody else's block.
They're doing stuff
And
for
I'm getting mad
They
sitting
doing
here
stuff for
thinking about
Kensington, you know.
Fuck, you know what
Oh,
they want to give you a safe place to shoot up. How about you put them in a place where they don't have to shoot up?
They need to call Yana to fix it then. Call Yana.
Yeah.
So she
Maybe
fixed
that's
everything. She
wrong.
fixed everything else.
She can fix it.
She can
We
fix
got
the heroin
fix it.
addict.
I'll
The
go
New York Times. The New York.
What that lady say? I don't know nothing about one in the city, but I'll fix it quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Okay?
But you know,
You can just catch me on the Saturday. I'll be up there. Everybody get the fuck up. Everybody up. Get the fuck up.
New York. You know, the New York Times said that Kensington is the Walmart of heroin.
Yeah.
The New York Times said
Yeah.
that.
The Walmart.
You know what they're doing now? They're dropping off needle packets.
Kensington.
Oh, Kensington.
They're dropping off needle packets now to just so that they don't
Look what this guy
infect
posted.
yourself
They be
with
just
stuff.
be on the corner
It's
line.
crazy.
Dead. They be on the corner dead.
Yes. Oh my God. I want to see that. It's sad.
Oh, he
I used to work in that area and it's sad.
This
It's
guy
sad.
up Kensington today. He
People
posted
be
our
standing
phone.
there
And this
and
guy was
just-
on the ground like this. And they had to call 911 on him.
It's
'Cause he was
sad.
hot.
Bad.
It's sad.
That
It's
Walgreens
sad.
over
Too
there.
much.
That Walgreens over there.
I don't have no
It's
dealings
live.
or doings up in Kensington.
No.
No.
None at all.
But it's
You
crazy.
They be like, oh, I live in Kensington.
I want
What?
you going up there to see you. You better meet me somewhere.
Yeah, it's
That meeting somewhere. And nowhere near the train tracks.
And nowhere near K&A. Okay.
Nowhere near the train tracks.
Somebody will rob you just being on it just so they can get their fix.
I don't want to go nowhere near the L. Because I have no business on the L.
You better stay on Broad Street.
My house is nowhere near the L.
Stay
Which
on Broad Street.
L? Which L is it over there?
The
The,
one that
Frankfurt line.
rides, yeah, the Frankfurt line. the
But
Bronx.
which one get off the?
Oh, you want Church Street? You want Unity Street? All of that. Listen, the K and the A
The
side.
letter streets, the
Yeah,
C
all those
Street, B
streets.
Street, all of them.
All the-
I had a friend that
you
used to live
live
up there on
Blue
C
Line?
Street.
I think
Let me
I'll
tell you
but
something.
which one we get
See,
off
and
the
I won't be
L,
up there
the
no
stop,
more.
where's the stop at the
No.
stop there?
See,
It's a
later.
line of them.
Okay.
It's a line of
No,
them.
not seeing the boulevard.
So the one that's right at beginning like front in Lehigh. That's a challenge. I was born at Episcopal Hospital, which is a block up, and I don't go back. I know better.
There's no need for me to go over there.
Yeah, I know
The
better.
main hospital
over
was
there?
Temple, Jefferson, and
Penn.
Penn, and it's a Presbyterian.
Oh, you talking about
and
Einstein?
Hanneman.
And Einstein too, because it's okay.
I don't want to go.
I don't go to
Einstein.
Einstein.
I take that drive to Abington. Because you go to Abington, you never have to wait.
Go to Chestnut
That's
Hill.
right, right back.
What about Chestnut Hill?
Every accident that I've been in, who was it? I don't know if it was my mom or somebody said start going to Abington because you never have to wait. You know how you go to the ER and you gotta wait and wait. Mm-hmm. You go in Abington and they take you. All you do is go in there, you sign your name, and they take you straight back. I've never waited in the emergency room ever. The only time I waited was a few months ago when my dad had his accident. But he went straight back. I was just waiting in the emergency room.
Okay.
But Abington, they have you in. They do what they need to do. When I was had that stomach virus and I thought I was about to die because I didn't know what the fuck was the matter with me, I went to Abington and they hooked me up on that IV as soon as I got in there. Mm-hmm. They hooked me up on that and I was on the IV for about an hour and a half, almost to 2 hours because I had lost all this. I was shitting out water.
Okay,
so
that's okay.
Next case.
Please. I had never been I'd never had food poison or dehydrated before, so I didn't know what the fuck was the matter. I'm like, why
Food poisoning? It got me together my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
I ate that solid.
So much weight.
I ate that solid at school. And baby, I was down for
I'm
the
just gonna
count.
tell y'all that apple cider vinegar daily. Just try it.
I need to get some.
That helps.
Get some.
That's
You drink it straight.
Yeah, you take a shot of it.
Doesn't it help with your weight too?
It helps with weight.
Yeah, I'm about to say everybody want to use that as a new weight loss.
No, but you have to do as a drink. You got to drink more water too.
Right.
But if you do the apple cider vinegar,
Now, how much do you drink straight?
just a shot. A shot glass. A shot glass.
Some people drink more than
trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it's too much.
And
I
then
mean,
you
but
go-
the way you
and then
do
you
it,
go
but
through
the way
that
you do it
situation
to help if you don't like the taste of straight, you
Or
can
like
just
a
dilute it in
saltwater
some water.
flush.
Regular water, not
Regular
salt.
water.
Okay.
Water.
Yeah, regular water.
I don't know water. Come on.
Don't drink it.
I would drink. One of my coworkers kept telling me, and she even gave me a bottle of it, but I never used it.
Oh.
I
And
never
you got
used it.
don't
But
let
everybody keeps
don't
saying
let it
get
sit
the
because
apple
once it
cider
starts
vinegar.
separating,
We can shake
it's
it.
a different. This I don't like that taste. Be consistent, please.
All right. So what's going on out here?
California.
Oh my.
You know what has a good taste, and I never knew that it had a good taste.
Well, we wait.
Well, we'll wait.
Let me give it a
What?
B, give it an S.
No, it begins with a C.
He knew that tastes good. He knew it. They got that taste.
Well,
It's like, let me stop. Go ahead. Go, I'm joking.
Yeah,
You
so
said that.
today,
Whoa, I didn't hear a lot of what you said.
All right,
I
Church
missed that
boy.
part.
It
church
begins
boy
with
out
a
here
C.
cutting
Yeah.
up.
And with L.
No.
all right,
Hell.
we gotta get serious. So today in California, last night in California, there was a mass shooting at a bar in Thousand Oaks, California. 13 people have been shot and killed, including the gunman who,
Turned
took his
it on
own
himself.
life.
Yeah.
And they were saying that he was in the military and he had mental issues and his family was trying to get him help. He didn't want to get help and all of that stuff. And, still, people gonna be tweeting about gun control. Gun control now, it's been trending all day. And, it's starting to become where I'd be like, well, just thank God it ain't me now. Because it don't hurt me because it's the norm. You got the Jewish place getting shot up. You got the bar getting shot up. You got people trying to shop at Walmart getting shot up.
Church.
People go to church. You go to school.
School.
Everywhere has been shot up.
Everywhere.
There was a hospital shot up like a year or two ago.
They shot
down
up
in
Trader Joe's in California a few months ago over the
I remember they was
summertime.
chasing somebody.
In a mall, they had a shooting or something
Yes,
like that.
in Springfield Mall.
Like, you
Every place
can't
has
go
been shot up,
nowhere
and every
and not
place
get shot.
there's no place that's exempt.
You just
from
But
being
the
shot
thing
up.
is, the crazy thing is, a few months from now, God forbid, they're gonna find a new creative place to shoot up, and we're gonna say we never even thought that you could shoot up that place.
A restaurant, a Chinese buffet.
Anywhere. You could be anywhere.
I'm just saying.
You could just be driving in your car.
He
and
said,
somebody
out of all
else
places.
Chinese buffet.
Out of all places,
Because it's a
People
place.
running.
People do it at mass places.
I'm gonna put my phone right here. I don't want that camera to see my
Can
face.
you imagine I'm running the screen for help?
I'm just saying.
But I want to
At
say,
this
can I say
point-
something, Kevin? I want to say this one
Yeah.
thing. I want to. I know
It's not funny.
I know. I'm not. That's why I'm
Why
not
would you
laughing.
say it, Jamie?
Can you stop?
But see,
So,
but
listen.
you gotta think about
I'm
it.
taking
though.
us from California to Florida. This is my issue with people. It's like after
Okay.
Parkland, right?
Yes.
You would think if we had Marco Rubio, who's a Republican U.S. senator for the state of Florida, say to a group of children, he's not going to stop taking money from the NRA, who's the National Rifle Association, who was the one who produced these weapons, and he's not going to stop taking money from them, which means that when he goes to make votes on legislation, he's going to vote in favor of them because they're funding his campaign naturally. But it's like in the state of Florida, why are we still stuck between Andrew Gillum and this Republican when we know the Republicans
Because it's more
Because
of
they
them
count
down
on
there
us not
to
voting.
And you know what?
That's my issue.
And we meet their expectations by not
Every
getting out
single
there.
time.
I ain't got the vote.
That's my issue.
No round.
So
And it's more of them that's getting out and vote.
And that's
like
why-
them old white people,
Old white people
who are
in Florida.
retired,
Old white people,
and
yeah.
a lot of them don't give two shits about how we feel.
And
So
this
they
is
wanna
why
get
I
out there
say
and vote.
I don't want to have a conversation or a discussion about gun control, abortion, about
When
none of
they
this
start
stuff.
shooting us
If
sick
you
in
don't
homes,
vote,
then maybe-
if you
Let
don't
me
vote,
tell you-
I don't want to have a
Yeah,
discussion with
but
you.
you know
about
what? That should have all changed when they shut up their school and killed
Sandy Hook.
6 and
Sandy
7-year-olds.
Hook, yeah.
Sandy
That's
Hook,
when that
that
really should
broke
change.
my
Because
heart.
you don't
People
go
with
in no
mental
classroom
conditions
and
should
shut up.
not
I'm gonna
have
say
guns.
this. Notice where they do this at. Most of these killings. When these shootings start happening in the suburbs, in small, ritzy Rittenhouse and nice, fancy 6 Park Avenue places, really like high-end type of places, and you start seeing wealthy white people experience this,
Yeah.
that's when they
Yeah,
don't
but
care.
until
but
then,
They don't care about
but
working
they
class
still
people.
wanna be-
They don't care about
you
working
should've
class
had a gun.
people.
No.
Poor people.
Somebody
They
should've
don't
had
care
a
about
gun.
working.
They
No,
wouldn't
no.
have a
Or
I'm
when
telling
they
you,
go up and shoot up somebody's campaign office.
Yeah.
they don't care about working
Oh,
class people.
now you know that
they
you
don't care
say
about
that-
people of color.
No.
They
That's
don't
no,
care
them
about
two said that's
people
gonna be
of faith.
interesting if that happens.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
when it
When
happens.
it's those
at
donors
the-
and those rich
those
people sending
donors,
money,
but somebody like that.
But you know what?
happened
You
to
would have
people
thought
like
that
Trump that
both
support
sides would have
Trump?
came together when they shut up Sandy
It's
Hook.
too much
That
money
was
involved.
horrible.
It's too much money
Like
involved.
that's I
There's
would
too
have
much money
honestly
involved.
thought that Sandy Hook would have been the last school shooting.
You had to also remember it was a black man who would have to sign that bill, and they don't want him to be the change.
Well, Trump ain't trying to sign nothing either. Because they in his pocket. They in
Right,
his,
he-
and they in his ear. Bitch, if you... And I think everybody got something on Trump.
Yeah.
Everybody, including
Yeah.
the NRA, they got something on him.
I wish I had
But-
something on them.
Okay?
What don't matter?
I
what-
wish I could put these on them.
You know what? I'm
Because
sorry.
I
but
would love
there's nothing.
to see Trump.
Honestly, the stuff that's come out about Trump is still actually, I
It's
think,
not gonna stop.
emboldened him. Honestly.
Yeah, but
the
that's
grab
because
about
the real-
pussy.
that's because
the
the
grab
good
about
stuff ain't
pussy
come out yet.
comments.
But
Like that was supposed to
But
end
the
the
lawyer,
campaign.
the lawyer told
If
us
that
that
would've
he
been a
said,
black
y'all
man
too dumb to
who
vote
said
for
that-
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, but the
been
lawyer,
done.
but
The
the
lawyer-
lawyer, but Michael Cohen's saying that ain't nothing that we don't already know.
No.
Trump
Yeah.
will
No,
do.
no,
But we're-
But you was riding with him.
Yeah, but
That's
you
what
can
I
ride with him,
was
so you
saying.
don't make that. You're no.
But you can't change up now.
You
you're
honestly
fired.
think that I don't think that Trump says stuff
And
about
you,
black
what
people?
you say about black people, what you...
Right, because he felt comfortable.
You know,
with
people
saying
just
Jesus.
really, people really want that video though. Omarosa never delivered those tapes.
That's because
Somebody
she don't have-
got him. Somebody
She,
got
she,
him.
because Omarosa
What
is
the
a
fuck
very
they doing
smart
now?
girl.
I would-
Her
if
point
I
was to
had
make
those
money off
tapes,
that
I would be
situation,
shitting
I don't
not
know
to
about
really be
that.
an advocate for
How
us.
much
She
money
never
you gonna
dropped
give me
it.
for this?
Yeah.
And I'd sell them to the highest bidder.
I'm tired of them talking all this.
Yeah, me
these
too.
tapes. Shut up.
Trump said it yesterday.
And
He said
said
it's a lie. If they had it, they'd have let it out.
Shut your ass up.
Yeah.
That's really what they be saying. The girl, what's the girl on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood? The country girl who was fighting with the wig got taken
Kim
off.
Michelle.
Not Kate.
You know
The
what?
other girl, the bad mother
You know
who
what?
got the mother. The girl
You
can't
know
sing.
what?
Anyway.
A1 and
Oh yes.
not Princess Love.
Oh, you
What's
like
her-
No, I don't like A1.
Oh, you said
The girlfriend.
I think A1 could possibly be queer.
Well,
But
all those men are queer.
yeah, even Booby.
Did you see that one?
That's Kim.
Is Donald Trump
that's
queer?
Keisha
You
Cole.
think, would they get him out the office? If Donald Trump is queer, would they get him out?
What'd you say?
If Donald Trump was queer, would that stop him from being president?
No.
No.
How big do you think Donald Trump dick is?
Oh my God!
Well, according to Skorpion Daniels, not much.
I'm just my
Did you do something with it, Kevin?
Would you?
He like that back. He like, if you do it, I'll do it.
What Lil Wayne say on the original?
I'm
on
gonna
the
say
original-
it to
He
you.
said, "Who's Lil John?" I don't know Lil John.
He said they said he was on Apprentice. He said, "Oh, great."
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah. That nigga.
right.
Right. That's what he does.
Right, that's how I really
Yo, listen, if you are watching this and you have not went on YouTube and found that 1 hour and 20 minutes press conference.
ABC News.
You go see that
Okay,
ad.
so it's on, y'all should put the link. Y'all should put the link down there. But it's on ABC on. It's on ABC.
It's on the White House shit. It's
Yeah,
on the White House
CBS.
Oh
shit.
my God!
I had a whole watching it, and I kept saying, I can't believe I'm still watching it.
I fell asleep last night watching. I woke up, my phone was dead.
You gotta start from when he starts taking questions. Because
Yes.
the part when he's talking is boring.
Yes.
Well, he just lying about the facts and figures. Lying about. Well, first of all, it's a
Oh,
lie.
Oprah's a good person and
He said, well, I like her. I don't know if she likes me.
but I still like her.
And the guy said, well, why do you still like her? He wouldn't even answer that question. Like,
One thing I can say, yo, Trump talking to himself is so. Please watch the whole thing because Trump talking to himself is also a sight. It's a sight.
Trump is amazing.
The things that he says, he said like, oh my God, he said the people that didn't want me to wrap their arms around me, they lost.
Oh yeah.
He said yeah.
Oh yeah.
He said they didn't embrace me, they lost.
Yeah, he went in on it. If you don't praise him, he will disrespect you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just the kind of person. I think we are all used
Oh
to
my
who he
God.
is now.
Yeah.
And it makes you, for me, it makes me not want to, be like, I'd be looking at one and be like, yeah, you voted for Trump.
You voted for
That's
Trump.
crazy that I think that way.
But see, the thing about it is, the white folks love to kiss his behind.
yeah, they
don't want to get on his bad
us,
side.
and they go in there voting.
But they so nasty
vote
to
for
us and Obama.
Yeah.
But they don't want to get on Trump's bad side because the minute they get on his bad side, that's why a lot of them don't come out.
And it has
speak out
no
against him.
backbone. And you need to think about what side of the legacy you want to be on 50 years from now.
They don't care about that right now. They worrying about they're living in the here and now.
I'm gonna say, in a way, the way that Trump is running this country might not be 50 years from now. So they really don't care.
But when you look back, be like, look at those people that was like the people.
Like Sarah said,
Watergate.
like how dare you even tweet that and then
How do
that
she
false
sleep
video,
at night?
yeah.
Defending those fucking lies.
Yeah.
Like that's what make me mad. And that's why when y'all went on the reporters, I'm glad that people like Jim Acosta and April Ryan, they hold them accountable. People
Yeah, they
also
do. But they do hold them accountable. But again, it's like you hold them accountable, but it's like what you're holding them accountable for, it's not sticking. Because it's just falling off of Trump like that's not
nothing's going to stick to him.
Yeah.
The only thing I listen to W.
Like I love that April Ryan and Jim Acosta hold them. I love that. But it's like I need for y'all to come with something that I'm like, damn, like.
I mean, do y'all want, listen, it's a matter of this. Do you want them to go off or do you want receipts?
You don't want them to go off because
I want receipts. I want receipts.
I just feel like I know how they feel about him.
Yes,
which is
we
why
know how
and
you feel
he
about
knows how they feel about him.
Too right.
The thing
That's why he looked at April yesterday and thought, sit down, I didn't call you.
The people, the thing is, April, I'm
not
not trying to throw some. I'm just trying to say facts. April has gotten a lot of awards in the past year, book deals, CNN commentator position. She's commentating on CNN. And she getting checks. She's doing the radio. She's made a whole career. She's already had a career. But her career has finally popped off to the public eye from this.
And you know why? Because they are not afraid to speak up for people that want to speak to the White House.
But here's the thing though. With media and as somebody in this industry, as somebody who do this work, there are a lot of people that come in every presidential cycle that make personalities out of themselves and capitalize off of this chaos for their own personal gain. Van Jones. Who's the other one that everybody hype about? I personally am not that hype about her. She just came out of nowhere.
Angela Rye.
She's
been around since 2016.
I think it was Simone Sanders.
Yeah, but they all come around the presidential election. Like in 2008 and 2012, you had the Mark Lamont Hills in the 08 experts, some Eric Michael Dysons and all these people. They all become personalities.
They're all talking.
They're all talking. But you know the issue is to me, don't look at those people as reporters or the journalists that's going to really save this country. Get out there and support the Rowan Farrells. Support the people that's out here getting the receipts, doing the real work and getting it. Because you know why? Let me tell you why. Because that work that real journalists do, either they do it locally or nationally, is the receipts in the script that commentators use to bash the president.
That's why.
And I'm gonna tell you like this: if the real journalists that's really covering this White House are not in the White House, they're outside of it. And when they bust these stories, you know what everybody do that morning? Don Lemon them breaking from the New York Times, breaking from the New York, and this story. What do y'all think about? Then they weigh in. Do the fucking work. Do the work. I don't care what you guys say about it.
Let me tell you
White House
something. There was one White House reporter that nobody will ever top this person, and she held her own for over 40 years.
Yeah.
And that was Helen Thomas.
Yeah.
Helen Thomas. Before there was an April Ryan, before it was any of them, Helen Thomas started out like in the 60s when Kennedy was in office. And then she ended, I think when she died, when Obama was in office. This old white Jewish lady held her own, and she held every president accountable in that White House press room. She would tackle them even all the way up into her 80s. She'd be sitting there, but she'd be going in on Obama, all of them. These reporters ain't got really shit on her. And she didn't have to do that old yelling and all that, but like you said, she came with the receipts and she came with the facts. Helen Thomas, we don't have no Helen Thomases anymore. No. We got Jim Acostas, but the Jim Acostas and the April Ryans are too busy going back and forth and trying to hold somebody accountable. But you're not bringing.
But you should. First of all, I understand what you're saying about the receipts and stuff. I'll leave that to Maggie Haberman and I'll leave that to Charles Blow for them to do their thing and writing their opinions and stuff. But I feel like when you are a correspondent at the White House, you're a reporter, you're asking questions because you want to know what's going on in America. And it's not even just April Ryan, just like you had Peter Alexander, and thank God he stood up for Jim Acosta yesterday. And you got Kristen Welker, and you also have it's a girl that come on MSNBC at 10 o'clock live. But they
I think Gail King.
But when you
Morgan
because when you know that the White House is spewing lies, I'm glad that they are standing up and saying something. Now you ain't got to come out with no breaking news, but what you can do is put them bitches on the spot. When they spew that lie, you come at them with the fact and then ask them, well, what are you going to do to fix this? And what are you going to do to change that? That is why Sarah Sanders hate calling on April Ryan. She don't even call on April Ryan no more. April Ryan got to bust through to get her point across. She'd rather argue with Jim Acosta. And the White House, listen, and the White House love it. The White House love it when they go back and forth with Jim Acosta because it's press. As much as Donald Trump say he hates the press, he loves the press. That's why he wakes up and tweets.
Right.
He's going to be the top story.
Right.
He's always going to do this. But the thing is, you need people holding them accountable. It's not about them trying to be a star. They are the only ones that know how to step up and say something. And that's why they're being respected. And that's why April Ryan got the job.
We're not saying I respect them.
I'm going to say this.
But it's not about them trying to be the star. It's about them being the only ones that step up.
No, I got to push back at someone in these newsrooms. Those press conferences and who gets to be there, it's all politics. Absolutely. And it's also very racially biased.
Watch House of Cards. House of Cards.
Why you don't see any black men there?
You sure don't.
You don't see any black. There's reporters writing politics for years that don't get put in those press rooms because they would ask those questions, know how to ask them. I get annoyed with some of those press conferences because they tiptoe on the questions. When you're talking about migrant caravan, you're really trying to imply that the president's racist. Go there, and stop all the pretense crap of like, well, in the news report, blah, 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 blah. You talking, you eating up time.
Right.
Go shoot for your shot and hold down, and they tiptoe and use all this stupid white nationalists. You mean white supremacists?
Yes.
You mean racist and
I hate when they say national.
They using all this other color language. So my whole thing with them is, and you know why? Because they're white. Most of those reporters in there are white, and they can't talk about race. A lot of them can't talk about it eloquently because they ain't never experienced a lot of that stuff, or they scared to talk about it because they don't implicate themselves. And I'm going to tell you the real shade. You know why they can't You know why they can't hold any of these newsrooms accountable? The White House, they tried to. I remember, and I'm going to keep it 100. They said in a new report by Pew Research is that newsrooms are less diverse than the average work industry. Now. They're trying to hold this president accountable on the lack of diversity in the White House. And you know why they're not even doing it? But they're not even doing their own newsrooms.
Yeah.
And I'm
that's
sitting
why
here
they
as a
look
black
at the press
journalist,
so much.
You can't even press the conversation of race because the thing about Trump is that Trump in many ways is a reflection of this country.
Yes,
he's a reflection of these industries. He's a reflection of all these institutions. This stuff did not get birthed by him. He's amplified it, but he didn't birth it. So they can't hold this president accountable for some of this stuff. You can't hold this man accountable for racism in the country when your industry, your newsroom is doing it. You can't do that. And so I think that that's the truth. If they really are serious about trying to hold this president accountable, put some black and brown political reporters in there. Make him scream where he got to deal with black reporters in his White House. If you really want to fight racism in the news, in the press conference, put the people he don't want to see. There's Native American reporters, Latino reporters, immigrant reporters. Put them in there and have them ask those questions, and he will squirm.
That's right. That's right.
That's when you really get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, some of these white reporters coming from these left-wing Wall Street Journal, all these places, they're scared.
They're afraid to push the button.
They're afraid to push the button. Like
they
you
don't
said.
wanna get
They
kicked
don't
out.
want to
They don't-
implicate
they don't
themselves.
wanna get kicked out
Some of them
either.
don't want to implicate
'Cause people
themselves.
drag
Some of
them.
them have never even experienced racism.
Right.
So how you gonna question racism
Right.
when you've never even experienced it?
Where's essence?
You know what I mean?
Where where
I don't know
the
what it's like to be white.
Where's the
So how can I ask you
Philadelphia?
some questions about being
Where-
white? I ain't never been
Where's
white.
the
that.
black press? There's hardly any black press there.
Yep.
April Ryan represents a black-owned radio station that she's at, but these other black networks and stations are not having a seat at the table there.
Well, I don't know how many. It'd be like maybe 50 different people that be in that press pool. I don't know. I don't know how they select them.
No, I'll tell you, they. The thing is, it's all about
The
one
thing is, you can
credentials.
count when you can count how many black people in the
In the
center
room.
I
It's
know
not
the black
enough.
people
That
that's
means it's
there.
not enough.
I know the black people
It's
that's
not
there.
enough. It's not enough.
And they put certain people there. And all I'm saying, some of these newsrooms, who they pick, they'll have a political team. Why not alternate it?
Right.
Why not say, okay,
And majority time-
Jim Chill, we're going to get another
Right.
black political reporter
Right.
to start doing this because
Right.
you know you hot right now.
Right.
We can't, because then you lose access.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's about having the access,
Right.
I mean, if you're going to want to be there, stay there. And if you ain't going to be there, go off. My thing is, Jim, if you're going to get your press credential revoked,
You might as well.
you should have went.
He
You
should-
should have.
He's
off.
Fuck you, pussy.
But he spent too long tiptoeing on that question about the migrant.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
He
he
said,
did.
go
Get out.
out.
I think that, and I also think that the reporters should stick together. That's in that room, and even in the and with the
White folks ain't gonna be loyal to each other. We know that.
what's it
Because
called?
we never heard of that. Can I say this one thing? So this is another thing that I was
In
looking
the
at.
press pool.
Listen, today I
Not
was
the press pool.
I was
at the-
listen.
at
I was looking at
at
the you could listen. I
at
haven't
the
talked in a
daily
while.
briefing. They need to stick together.
Listen, so I was looking at like the breakdown today for Georgia, right? And I was looking at like how people voted by race, like white men, white women, black men, black women. And the thing is, and like what you was just saying about like them going against each other, is like especially like white women for right now, because white women has been. I'm gonna say this: they have been the weakest link when it comes to voting in this country. These last
And
few
white
elections.
men too, but it's
White men
No,
is
white
trash.
men is there. I'm gonna explain this. So, a white woman, right? When she, like, for instance, like when Hillary Clinton was a candidate for president, a white woman had to choose between her gender and her race. But it's weird because Hillary is white, so. But they still clearly chose the white man, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
55%. So in Georgia, Stacey Abrams is a black woman, but 75% of white women still voted for the white man who's a Republican. And the thing is, they're going to choose their race first every single time.
They've been doing
That's
that.
my
They've
point.
been doing
But
that.
look what we
since
talking
the
about. We
beginning
talking
of
about
time.
Georgia
Okay.
too.
White women have been doing that for
No,
the
white
beginning
women
of
does it
time.
across the country. Because even with Roy Moore in Alabama, they did it there. So they're going to always do it. no
It's
matter
a
what
southern
state.
state. They
surprised.
love their Republicans. It's no.
But
To me, it's
my,
no.
here's the issue. Why are we surprised? They don't not.
'Cause Lord
They,
knows I-
Let's look at New York. New York did the same thing to the Miss Dixon, the one from Sex and the City.
White-
They chose the white man.
they're never going to support each other. White women. The reason why.
And
The reason why,
LGBT.
if you look at historically, the progress for women's rights, civil rights, LGBTQ rights have always been led by black people. Stonewall,
Black women's always
a
been
black,
a
a black
powerful
trans
one,
woman pushed through the first stone at Stonewall. You look at Marsha P. Johnson. You look
She had
at
a good story on that.
I saw that.
People who
Yeah.
say people has always been black women. It's
Marsha
always
P.
been
Johnson,
black
a
women.
black trans woman who was at Stonewall. But if you look at like the civil rights movement, black women was present there.
Black women's
Women's
always
rights-
been the front forefront.
But that being said, like I'm never was surprised when white women really showed up.
Oh yeah, I see.
They
Oh,
showed
well,
they showed all
the
violence.
Me
Yeah.
Too movement.
It's
The
a-
Me Too movement
But
was
that
started
wasn't
by
the campaign.
it was started by a black woman,
Again,
and then it was elevated by a white woman.
Yes, but again, white women don't invent anything. They steal more than anything else. They appropriate, they hijack. We know this in music, pop culture, music, politics, every movement. They don't create anything. And the stuff that they do create ends up being an assault to black men, black women, and everybody else. And when it comes down to it, they align themselves because at the end of the day, I can't imagine what it's like to be a white woman, but for 5 seconds, just put yourself and imagine that they are the second in line to have power in this white supremacy structure. If they can appeal, they're always going to try to appeal to white men because they feel like white men have the power over them like everyone else. But they feel like that power is going to rain on them in some kind of way, and it never does. They play themselves all the time. White women play themselves. Like if you look in a book and definition of playing, how to play yourself, white women should be the first face on it because every single time they think, oh, this white man is gonna save me, or he gonna end up looking out for me, and he's always like, bitch, please.
Yeah, and they did
Trump,
that to
Roy
Trump
Moore,
did that to that Susan Collins.
Ted
lady.
Cruz.
Yeah.
Every time they all played him. Every time this Florida governor, every time this potentially white male Georgia governor, each time, and he takes away their birthing rights, their Social Security. They try to act like, oh, we gotta protect our resources. White women, poor white women, benefit from welfare more than black people do. And the point of the matter is that they the ones who get losing from the benefits. Medicare impacts them more than it does us. They are benefited from all these social benefits, these services, including affirmative action for colleges. They benefit from all those things.
White women
and yet they want to shut it down.
You
know why? Because in the mirror,
that is a fact.
In the mirror, they think like this. They say when they look in that mirror, like, what's that person? I don't see race. I don't see this. White women go in the mirror. I don't see gender. I just see my whiteness. And they get reminded every time that they're a woman. They get reminded really quick.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why Obama won is because white men was like, I ain't about to vote for Sarah Palin. Nobody wanted Sarah Palin. Hillary lost because they was like, we don't want a woman. They you know, every race they involved a woman lost.
But see, Hillary Clinton, if she would have had more people come out in just 3 states, she would have been president.
Trash. Hillary was not, I mean, at the end of the day, now that it's the time to settle, we can all admit that Hillary forced herself in that race from the primaries on down, that they were not feeling.
I don't think she forced herself into the race. She was winning.
Well, Donna Brazile admitted after they both got court. Donna Brazile came out and said that Hillary Clinton basically bore her nomination the year prior.
Bore her nomination. You just mad because Bernie didn't win.
I'm not mad. Donna Brazile, the head of the DNC, said
I'm
not hating.
I'm gonna say this.
That Donna Brazile herself said that.
No, I'm not.
I'm regurgitating what she said on the video.
I think at the end of the day,
and what she said in her book.
Donna is not a credible source because of how
she was the head of the DNC.
How she got ousted out, and you know how she did because she was too busy trying to mess around with them questions in that interview. That
and they got the emails where she sent Hillary the questions prior to the debate.
So she was a part of the process. That was
I wouldn't trust Donna Brazile with a bag of chips.
I don't. But she got a good new wig though.
Yeah, there's half the time
she got a new wig.
Donna Brazile is a mess.
All I gotta say about Hillary was that I think that Hillary won, but I think that Hillary definitely bullied her way because everybody know Biden was next, and at the end of the day, Biden's son had died.
He would have ran
because his son didn't. Yeah, Biden had a lot going on in his life. And Biden is a fighter. He didn't have all types of deaths and loss and tragedy.
Yeah.
He still keep pushing.
Yes, he has.
And I just feel like at the end of the day, because of that, he sat that race down, and Hillary was just thirsting. When she got to be Secretary of State, she was thirsting. But the reality is that I just think this is just this is one of the things where it's like, honestly, Bill Clinton, I'm just tired of the Clintons. I think this is their era has passed.
Yeah, they need to sit out 20
As an up-and-coming politician, I would love to meet them, but I wouldn't have them campaign for me.
No.
You can't campaign.
And they don't know what the right, they always say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
You can't campaign for me, Bill Clinton, with this Me Too movement going on. Hillary, you can't campaign for me simply because you can't campaign for me.
You can't campaign for yourself. And if you can't campaign for yourself, I don't know, you're going to campaign for me. But this is what I'm going to say. In 2020, this is the reason why I'm not sold on Kamala Harris. Because Trump, he knows what his recipe for another 4 years is. The thing is, if we don't find someone that America loves, there's no way to beat this. Because what Trump essentially has become, he's become the spokesperson for things that they always wanted to say, things that they've always wanted to do,
and that's why they
wanted to do in public. So he finally became like Barack for us was the thing that we always wanted to see. We wanted to see a polished black man with a nice, beautiful family running this country. He showed up in 2008 and we voted for him. Until we have something of what Trump truly is, like Trump is, he's the most racist, he's the most anti-woman, the most biggest bigot we've seen in modern history. And they've been wanting this for some time. Unless we can find somebody who can be exactly what we want to have, he's going to get another 4 years.
I think
he's going to get president for another 4 years.
The only person that's going to defeat Trump is Trump.
Well, we got Robert Mueller too. Well, hopefully, because I don't know.
Robert Mueller is not going to make it to Valentine's Day.
All I'm saying is that
the new guy they got right now is acting Attorney General.
That's a conflict of interest. I'm going to say this. I think that Trump is the only way to defeat Trump is Trump's going to defeat himself. What comes from these investigations, the dirt that gets found on Trump, if it's substantial, that will end Trump before anybody can. Like I tell people about Philadelphia politics and these local politics. Isn't it funny that the only time we actually get new people in is when the FBI comes in and knocks some of these people out? Seth Williams, the DA, some of the state reps,
dirty.
Shaka Patala, congressperson. When we put the trust in the people to like vote people out, we don't do too well sometimes. FBI has cleaned up more corrupt politicians in Philadelphia than the people had with their votes. And so in this situation, I honestly think that the person that's going to self-destruct will be Trump. Trump is going to self-destruct. He's going to push the line. He's going to cross the line. He's going to do something. It's going to be dirt on him. It's going to be his own doing that's going to do this. I don't really think the Democratic Party has a backbone or any place to try to speak out against him because they got so much dirt. They can't talk about race when they done had so many black people they've thrown under the bus, communities they've ignored, mass incarceration they done started, all types of ruin.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think about Blexit, the black exit that's going on?
What do I think about it?
I don't agree with that.
What do you think about the
I
black
I don't see
people?
it. I don't see it at
The
all.
black
That's my first
people,
time hearing about it.
the black people leaving the Democratic Party to join
For what?
the
All I'm
I
gonna tell
believe
you
in a
is
two-party system.
You can leave the Democratic Party, but where you gonna go?
Where you're going.
And if you telling me going to the Republican Party is an option, that's like making me choose between hell or hell 2.0. I just don't know which was a better option. And so for me, the logic is when people left the British Union, they went into some other place. You tell people to exit the Democratic Party, but where's the other
Where
place
are
to
you
go?
going?
And you're telling them to go to the Republican Party. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's exactly how they left. They left the Democratic, they left the Republican Party to go to the Democratic Party.
Now
Now you want to go back home. Now you want to go back home.
Right.
Okay.
It don't work that way.
It don't. It disappointing.
The Republican Party, up until I would say the 70s, because many black people voted for Nixon.
Yes.
Many black people
He was
voted
a
for
popular
Nixon,
president.
and he was also an anti-Semitic as well. Many people many African Americans supported Nixon,
yeah.
but after Nixon, that's when blacks started to go towards the Democratic Party. But it's funny because you look at Nixon as this. I like to call Trump the modern day Nixon 2.0.
Yeah.
Because Nixon too
Hated
had it
the
out
press.
with the press.
Yep.
Him and Dan Rather used to go at it like white on rice.
Yeah.
Nixon couldn't stand the press either. He was the same way like Trump was. Nixon had a lot of investigations going on his last 2 years in his office.
And he
Trump
resigned.
not going on his
But
The first two.
But Nixon's demise and his ouster came from his action.
came from his action.
And I think that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen.
But
with
because
Trump.
he thought he was above
The
the
law.
law.
That Trump's ego, but
The law.
Trump's ego is going to be what's going to have him go down like Nixon.
Nixon thought he was
I don't
above
think
the
it's
law.
going to be the Democrats. They keep trying to find stuff, but I really
It's gonna
think
be
it's
Trump.
going to be Trump
It's
himself.
going to be
that's
Trump.
gonna
That's why
himself.
I honestly believe, and I actually think Joe Biden is right. Joe Biden did an interview maybe about a month ago where he said if Democrats take over, they need not try to impeach Trump because it's going to make things worse.
Yeah, because
And
more white people gonna come
I
out
believe
and
that
vote
because
for
it's going to make things worse. And I think that if we allow Trump to be his own demise, it's going to happen. We need to focus on building up our party. We need to focus on finding somebody like Joe Biden, somebody better that's going to take over in
How about
2020.
this? How about they come up with a message? The Democratic Party.
Yeah, 'cause they don't
has
have
not
a
had
message.
since
Yeah, they don't have a
2015.
message.
That's
Love
first.
Trump's hate. They keep Trump name out your mouth.
They
Come up
keep
with a
Trump
plan.
on
Right.
all the
Keep a
literature
plan.
that goes around with these politicians, Democrats.
And they can,
it's always,
but see,
I'm going against Trump.
They can throw shade at Trump, but you got to throw shade with a policy or a plan. And I just feel like the Democratic Party, it's just been, we don't like Trump. Trump's the worst option. So buy me. I mean, that's how I felt like K. Michelle and Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole ain't out right now, so buy my album, K. Michelle's. You know, and like she didn't say it, but I'm just saying that's the attitude of music artists. They like, listen, she ain't out, but she only got one other option that makes sense. Buy my album. And I think that's how I feel about the Democratic Party. Like, Trump crazy. What you gonna do? Vote for me. Me not liking him don't mean I like you.
Give me something to vote for.
But that's why people don't vote.
Yeah.
Part of it. I think some people don't vote because they feel like they don't have a reason to vote for this person. They ain't gonna vote. They say, look, I'm not voting for Trump or I'm not voting for you. My no vote means I'm not voting for either one of you. But I think that goes
And
back to
that's
the
why
problem.
these young
You got
people
the
need to be
message.
educated on
Yeah.
the issues,
Right.
especially when you got
if Joe
birth
Biden
control,
runs, he got my
Medicare,
support
all of that.
Because Joe Biden is the only one I feel as
Can't
though.
stay home.
And I'm sure there's other great people out there, but I feel like Joe Biden, as far as not backing down from Trump, because I feel like somebody else, Trump would just wipe the floor.
But I think it's a name that everyone
Yes.
knows.
especially in
The debate, oh my God. I think,
what you said?
Everybody know Joe Biden.
Yeah, and everybody
Yeah,
knows him
Joe
too.
Biden, right.
Joe,
Name
first of all,
recognition.
the fact that Joe Biden entered politics when Barack Obama was 10 years old, and then later became Obama's vice president.
and when I can say over
That's
time,
something.
Joe Biden's track record, the only thing that Joe Biden has ever done that I can remember that I didn't like Joe Biden for was the Anita Hill stuff.
Yes.
But outside of the Anita Hill
But
stuff,
all those politicians have a pass.
you're right.
Every
right.
last one of them.
Joe
And you're
Biden
not gonna
track
find
record.
not one that's squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Okay, we found Obama, but that was like we had to search years and years to find somebody.
High and low for that one.
But all those other politicians, those other look at Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had a pass too. Bernie Sanders and
His pass included marching with Martin Luther King.
Yeah, but
what about his?
okay.
What about
he
his
supported,
wife's bank
and then
situation?
he also
Yeah, it was
supported
some-
that whole situation with
Time
Clinton
Bernie
and
Sanders.
with the prison thing too. He supported
And
that.
he
in the
did
early
vote for that
90s.
bill.
Right, that's why I'm saying everybody has.
But Biden,
a pass.
Biden also voted for that.
Everybody has a pass. Bernie Sanders wasn't squeaky clean
No, he
either.
was not.
He had a pass, and when and see everybody.
His track record
all
was
his
consistent.
supporters. Yeah, but all his supporters in the very beginning would talk about how he marched for Martin Luther King, but they neglected to mention how he voted for that bill that Clinton
But
passed
in the 90s, nobody
when he-
knew that bill was going to incarcerate 2 million.
No, nobody
black
did
men.
know. Nobody did know.
But
But
then
you-
Biden needs to stop using that and letting his followers use that against Hillary when he was also one of the writers and Biden was one of the co-writers. So that's the thing. Y'all can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
If he voted for that and he steered in that, he needs to sit
I
down.
never blamed Hillary for that because she wasn't president when that bill got
Right,
signed.
okay.
Her husband was.
Okay.
And the thing was, what I
And
wanted
he's
from
come out and
Hillary,
apologized for it.
I wanted
But what's
Hillary-
done is done.
what I
The
wanted
damage is
Hillary
already
to tell
done.
Donald Trump is that, hi, my name is Hillary Clinton and I'm running for president, not Bill. It was so many times I wanted her to say that, and I felt like if she would have said that at some point, it would have cut off.
It wouldn't
No,
have.
No, it wouldn't have.
would have.
No, it wouldn't have.
It
Because
would have.
either
But
way,
at the end of the day, she was a white woman.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm sorry, but this like Bernie says, it's like when people talk about, I'm gonna say this, and this might be a little controversial, but I'm gonna keep it like this. This whole Bernie could have won if this reminds me of these conversations about whether so-and-so would have had that, like whether Fifi Dobson would have had a career versus over Rihanna. Or the conversation they have about if Aaliyah was still alive, Beyonce wouldn't be relevant. And it's like, let it the fuck go. And that's how I feel about the Sanders
You're
stuff.
absolutely right.
I'm just gonna have to keep it 100 right
Because
now.
Beyonce
I'm
and
just
Aaliyah
like,
ain't even on the same.
they're just not here,
Yeah,
right?
that's not
You
even
gotta
the same.
stop.
Give Rihanna Jack Fifi Dobson style.
At the end of the day, Rihanna is here.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Beyonce is
Beyonce.
here.
here. And at
so
the end of the day, Hillary won her primary. So at the end of the day, it's got to come to a point
Right.
where you cannot keep on trying to manipulate. Listen, the coalition
You
is
lost
not there.
because you lost.
Ain't got
And
nothing
the
to do with
thing is-
Bill. Ain't got nothing to do. It's
I'm
Bernie
not
Sanders, they
romanticizing
didn't want
Bernie.
you.
I'm telling
Because
you,
everything that Trump had coming against him, they still wanted this
But
man.
Bernie would not. If Bernie would
wanted
have
them.
became the nominee, he would not have beat Trump either. I don't believe
Yes,
he
he
would
would have.
I think
He
he
was
I don't think
polling
he
better.
would've.
He was
I don't
polling
think
better.
he would've.
And I believe that Bernie Sanders is a white man.
But you know what?
And Bernie Sanders would have argued with him.
Speaking of
He would have
polls,
argued with him.
Yeah.
we need to stop trusting polls.
Yeah, we
and
do.
listening-
Thank
That's
you
why I don't
for
listen to
what
him
you
anymore.
said.
I wait until the day of.
I
don't listen to him either.
I'm tired of that. That's the first thing CNN had, and I made that video. I'm tired of hearing about polls,
Right.
exit poll this, exit poll that,
And they
because they can
keep
be
doing
lying
it.
to
Yep.
you.
And they keep doing
But
it.
you
It's
know
like,
what?
I
But you
listen
know
to
that
it.
this fuel. My thing is though, I think what I want to tell, as a member of the press who writes factual stories, do my fact finding, and get my receipts.
Yeah, I got to get you too. Hold on.
We're gonna talk about that right something. We'll talk.
Oh, this is about to be good.
I'm ready for that, and I will come with the receipts.
You see, I got quiet when y'all
I'm
said-
gonna say this though.
I know my place.
I just wish people understand the difference between projections and figures and facts. And for me, it's just too much commentary on TV now. It's just too much projections, too much
Opinions.
surveys. I don't mind opinions. I'm just saying, just too many of these surveys, there's too many of these projections, and I'm just kind of like, can we get to a point where we just give people it straight up, no chaser, just straight up? Because some people that's what people live for anyway. When you get the straight up, like this is what's happened, no tiptoeing. I think part of Trump's popularity is that he just gives people to it straight.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
Sit down.
Yeah, he doesn't
Not
say maybe.
can you have a seat?
I
Sit
mean,
down. I'm not talking to
if
you.
he's lying, he's lying, but we know it's a lie or it's true. It's
True,
a yes
right.
or no situation.
It's
And
true.
too many other people like to tiptoe on this stuff. Anyway, go ahead. I'm ready.
Because you talk about people trying to be the star. Now, I'm not saying you're trying to be a star, but you
That's what
press
you're
a lot of buttons too.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Well, you ready to come out? I'm gonna sit here like Hillary
Because I
at
know.
the hearings with my hands
Because
folded,
I
This was Hillary. This was Hillary. I love that. I love that meme.
I enjoy your work, and some stories I agree with, some stories I just don't.
You're
Move
entitled.
closer because you're not
Caroline.
in that camera.
Oh,
In the middle one.
Is
You're
it
not
still?
in it.
Oh, I'm in. Oh, I'm in that one too.
They said give it to him.
Is that still on?
They said
I
no
don't know.
chaser.
I can't see it.
Give it to. They said get to the point.
I
What you trying to say?
I'm about to have my Kamala Harris head.
I'm not going to say nothing bad.
But just get to the point.
I'm saying, like, you're right, and you like to be the star, too. When you put your stories out, when you have everybody retweeting.
Van Jones. He's calling you Van Jones.
Hold on. Be quiet, 'cause I got this. I want to listen. Go ahead.
You know, but, you know, every writer wants their story to be seen. I enjoy your work.
Thank you.
But I think you want to be a star, too, when it comes to this writing, and you pushing the issues, and you be doing everything that you out there doing,
Okay,
too.
so
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Let me just say something real quick. But what's the problem with him wanting to be
Because he's saying like
bigger than what he is?
Because you say it took 21 years or so for April Ryan. It took her a while, but somebody had to fight back. You fight back too.
Okay.
And you expose people, and you do your thing, and you are the star of that.
All right.
He don't know what's the difference.
Listen. Let me tell you how bad it was. So bad, or he get people so good with his stuff, or what you do, that you were the focus of attention with the FBI recently.
So I'll explain this.
Yeah, but let him explain that situation. What you just did, it's
right.
Let him fully explain
Well, I
it
can
because
talk. I can talk.
That's a soundbite.
I can talk. So let me be clear on several
So
things.
what do you do? Except because you're not on TV yet, I know you will be soon.
We on CNN.
I'm on CNN.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. My fault.
This is when you go with the facts.
Now I'm just listening. I just want to finish. I'm gonna.
So what makes you different than what they're doing?
Okay. So let's start off first. I'm in Philadelphia, so I'm in a city where there's hardly any black reporters. Period. So the moment I step foot in any newsroom, any by default, I'm gonna have a magnet on me by default. In ways that other people just don't. If I say something about racism or say anything, if I do stories or anything like that, by default, I'm going to be a target, just based off of that. So that's the first thing you have to look at the landscape. Second, unlike other people, I would say that I write my stories. I actually do the work. I actually do the research. And there's actually stories. You can read them. It's not just me giving you weigh-in opinions. It's like actual stories that by default happens. My stories make impact. Those decisions, the things that come out of the stories that I reveal, makes an impact in policy, legislation, the people that are involved. They make a direct impact. They're just not just feuds. Feuds can come out of it as a byproduct, but at the end of the day, what I do creates a reaction and causes something.
Controversy.
No, he said policy.
I can talk I can talk for myself. When you say controversy, that word is used. Everything's controversial. Everything's controversial. You drinking that Arizona sweet tea that says $1 on it with a soda tax, that's controversial. You being a black gay man on this show talking your shit can be controversial depending on who you look at it. So to some things that I do, you see it as controversy. Somebody calls it empowering. Someone calls it inspirational. And I've learned that there's no infinite on anything that happens. When people look at Trump on TV, some people are happy. They're proud to be white. They feel like they matter in the country. They did not see them. And other people like us is scared as fuck, pissed off, mad, and angry. And so when we use these words like controversial, whatever, as a journalist that do work, I want my work to be seen and heard. Every journalist do. When you saying trying to be a star, I'm not trying to be a star. I am a star. And by default, it's because of the work speaks for itself. And I think being great shouldn't be this connotation of something wrong. However, what I want to tell people, though, that I think matters the most is that it's not about wanting these things. It's how you go about those things. I ain't slept with no one to get something. I didn't steal to get something. And I'm not doing anything in ways that's disingenuous to try to get something. The stuff that I do that gets me attention is the work that I do based on it. And it comes with consequences. So let's talk about that FBI situation. So what happened was, I've been covering racism during New Year's Eve with the Mummers. If you live in Philadelphia, the Mummers is that big parade where there's a bunch of mostly white people that throw these parades, get drunk. They do blackface, they say racial slurs, they do their thing. As a journalist, going out there to cover it because I believe that I need to cover the big events. The Mummers Parade is the biggest thing at the beginning of the year, New Year's Eve. You can go on every TV channel. My black ass as a reporter should be there. When I was covering it, I saw things that I thought the people should know about. I filmed it, I wrote it, I told stories. People read it. Shit happens. Controversy. Some people were mad that they were being embarrassed because people saw them out here acting upon food. There were some people that read that and was like, ooh, I'm so happy I know about that. I'm so happy that that's being said because I've been waiting to say that. So for someone like me, I get to be a voice and a vessel to people who don't have the opportunity to speak, given how messed up it is. Anyway, that being said, one of the mummers decided that they wanted to call the police, and they went to the counterterrorism unit, basically told the police that they read some of my work, and they felt like I was a threat to their event. And so the police called me into questioning as a form to intimidate me as a journalist. Because I was reporting on this, and they were talking, they were feeling threatened. I'm like, why are they feeling threatened? What am I doing? What physical harm? What things have I done? And essentially, it was my work. My work was that controversial to them that they wanted to silence me. And the interesting thing is I came out and told people what happened, and I'm going to be at that Mama's Parade this year, and I'm going to keep doing my job. But the thing is not my controversy come from the work. And let's go back to it again, the work. And too many people out here are doing things, but there's no work behind it. You want to talk about anything that has happened to me or me being in the news, it's behind work. They say, oh, I don't like Ernest about Gabrielle because I was out there in the streets covering those protests when no one did. I was the one out here getting these receipts and showing the racism in the community. It was work. So I don't care about what people got to say about the work I'm doing. Be mad when I'm not doing something. Be mad when I'm ghost. Be mad when I'm not present. Be mad when I don't have nothing to say, but I'm walking around here saying I'm a journalist. Because a lot of people around here walking around here talking about they're a journalist, and you be like, I don't see you in my streets. I don't see you talking about the issues that matter. All you doing is on red carpets interviewing people. All you doing is talking about celebrity gossip. You ain't talking about community stuff. And there's a lot of people that walk around here and do that. So if I get to be a star for talking about real shit, when there's a bunch of people out here that ain't talking about nothing, and they stars, well, I might as well be a star then.
I'll be a star.
Next case.
Next case.
Because it's the
He's a name. He gave it you on your show.
Oh no, I love it. But I'm gonna tell you this. I still see when you say like the people, because we're going back to Jim McCosta and April Ryan.
Yeah.
April Ryan does her writing for a little. She's on what? American Urban Networks, but
I never heard of it.
her face, her face is on CNN. You know, so like I said, I like them because they press the issue.
Right.
And what you do,
But I think,
what they don't do is write a story, but they still are reporting, and they still are gathering. Sarah Sanders every time they
but
get
all I'm saying is that I don't want the conversation. I'm not saying I see anything wrong with it, but I just think the difference between me and them is that people are coming for the work I'm doing. I think that this when people are arguing about things that I've done or worked, they're getting at the issues being covered. I just want to go back to a time where the conflict is about the issues and not these personal transgressions. My thing is, I understand the frustration that people
because I don't know nobody else in Philly. Well, I don't know nobody else in Philly that you know.
That's what they do.
It's
this is the only thing I will say is that because like Ernest, I've been reading your work for years. Before I even knew who you were, I read you when you was in the Metro. And the thing was, I only knew your name because you had this column, and I would read the column every single day.
The work.
I later on was able to put the name to the face.
Right.
So like following you on Facebook. Like what Kevin said, I did agree with that part. Is that like some of the work that you do, I'm like a fan. I'm like, okay, I'm glad he said something because I didn't even see it that way.
Right.
For like the Mummers thing.
Right.
My birthday is actually New Year's Day.
Okay.
So like when I was a kid, I used to go to Mummers Parade all the time because I was a kid and everything's closed. So it's not really much for me to do on my birthday. And as a kid, where can I really go? So I went to Mummers Parade. So but the thing is sometimes there's been challenging to me is I feel like everything that you cover always has like a racist undertone, and I be like, everything isn't racist. So sometimes I don't know.
Here's the thing. I didn't like that story you posted, and I was going back and forth. I was going back and forth with somebody, the girl that works for the distillery.
She had a situation. Here's the thing. Let me bring this. My whole thing is, what y'all gotta understand is that you can be mad at me, but no one else is doing the work. No one in Philly is covering the.
It's not that I'm mad at you. I just didn't agree.
But people don't agree. But it's like that's fine. So the story was about a distillery, which is to me, it's a story. I'm reporting. Why do I get to be the source of the anger of people when I report a story? And I think that's the thing that's interesting when it comes to race, which I go back to about, is that when these white reporters put out bad news, nobody's mad at the white reporter. Black reporter put out news that make people upset. You become the automatic target of it rather than being the story itself. So it's like, why are you mad at me? I just did my job. I told a story that was relevant, that mattered. Someone had a story they wanted to get their voice heard. And unfortunately, the reason why I'm oftentimes put in positions to cover stories that involve race, because we live in a city where there's a lot of shit going on, and if I don't do it, no one's going to. So I have to pick up the weight. So don't be mad at me. Be mad at these newsrooms that don't hire their reporters or train their reporters to cover the issues that I do. It would be nice to write about flowers and wildlife and crap, but unfortunately, there's enough white people doing that, and I need to still make sure my community's getting heard. And if I got to put my neck out there to do it and do it right, because when they do it, they don't tell it right, and they got us looking crazy on TV. I make sure my people don't look crazy in these stories. I let them have their voice and be able to tell their full story, and I take that time. So sometimes you're gonna see stories you're gonna be upset about it, but guess what? Be upset at the story, but don't be mad at me. They say hate the pain, hate the game. Hate the story, don't hate the writer. And my thing is with her, what happened was that it was a black girl. She was the only female black, she's the only woman bartender there, and she's the only black bartender there. And she got taken, she felt microaggressions and some shady remarks made by her supervisors and people. She did the interview, the guy kept noting how articulate she spoke. And she felt some type of way. But that was one thing. The second thing was she got taken to George Washington's whiskey distillery in D.C. And over there they have slaves. The slaves, everybody know George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and how they had slaves. So Lincoln, all of them. But when we talk about George Washington's distillery, she's a bartender. They took her there. Now, when they take her there, no one thought maybe this girl gonna be uncomfortable hearing some of the stuff she heard, but she heard it. But in there, one of the white bartenders told her he used the N-word, and she was like, "You can't use that. You're gonna have to chill." Like, it's too much going on. She's already dealing with being uncomfortable and being the only black person in this place, on this job, only black person on this trip in this damn distillery, and then on top of that, this white guy telling her, they always try to say black people bring a race, but we really be trying to mind our business, and white people be around us, messing with us. And it's only when we cut up and we call them out on it, then all of a sudden, why you gotta make it about race? Because you chose to make it like race. So she went out on the trip, people got drunk, he kept using N-word. So after she already told him not to earlier that day, they get back out there. Dude says that she confronts him. She's like, "You need to chill." Words are said. He says it again or whatever. They get into a fight, and then basically the manager chooses to fire both of them. But then basically gave her an ultimatum, apparently allegedly that they could both keep their job. And she said, "I can't work with this man." And he's like, "Well, either you work together, or y'all both get fired." So she had to choose between working with a racist man or keeping her job. And she's like, "I really cannot feel comfortable working with him," so she got fired. And he got fired too. He still got fired too. But the reality was, I thought that was a story people should know about that place, because it's in Fishtown. It's in North. People still try to go there. I think we should know about these places. Because
so then, what was the issue?
The issue was, I don't know. He didn't like the story. I don't know.
No, my issue with the story is that you've been here. You're the only black person here. This is not the first time you've heard this from somebody. When somebody says nigger around you, especially when they're white and you're black, the first thing you do, I think you should go to HR and make a complaint about that, because you're not going to be working with nobody doing all of that.
Right.
Then you're going. First of all, then no matter where you're going, if it's a slave plantation or if you're going to a distillery thing with all of them together, and y'all get drunk. First of all, you got drunk. Then y'all going back and forth, and he calling you a nigga, and you hit him. She hit him first. He didn't hit her first.
Right.
She hit him first. Right. And that is an embarrassment to your company. So you making our company look bad. If he called you a nigga, you didn't have to say nothing. Right. You should have said something to the manager that was on duty that was there.
Right, but I think
walk away.
No, I hear that, but I hear that. I understand so that point of view.
Your issue is because she retaliated by physical violence.
Yeah, now she's like suing and everything. Well, it's like you should have had all of this documented.
But all I'm saying is that I understand that, and that's the model way. But humans are humans, and I think with black people we are unforgiving to each other in ways.
There's no way you think you can still have that job.
I hear you saying. I hear what you're saying. I just think though that one way to look at it, what I try to tell people in general, is that I think black people get too hard on each other when it comes to this tension. This is a black woman. She's also queer. She also, probably was dealing with a lot of stuff. You never know. People go to work and they deal with so much, they get tired. So you don't know all the stuff she dealt with. And yes, violence is not the answer. It never is the answer. But there's times when you're going to pop off. And I think this was one of those moments where it was an interesting story because never you ever hear when they actually pop off. Normally, the person deals with it, will file a complaint, and you know what ends up happening? The complaint don't pass, and never gets solved.
She's suing because
she's not suing. She filed a complaint with PCHR. Basically, all she's doing, she's not even suing for money. What it is that she just wants
it to be known
that this place has problems with addressing racial issues. And I think
now,
that...
I'm going to say this one thing. I'm glad that you covered that story, though. And even though, and she may have been wrong.
That's her.
The reason that's important to me, because I remember when you covered the eye candy story.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is, me and my friends get in an argument because eye candy, before they shut down,
and
they were
hold
getting
on,
this
what happened to eye candy? What happened? You said it did what?
They got shut down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But listen, the thing about...
Impact. They never thought, let me just say this real quick. They never thought it was going to happen. And it happened.
But so listen to this. So the thing was, because you did that, though, because you made me aware, because I never knew what was going on until I saw the video and you covered the story, I never went to eye candy since that day. T.S. Madison, who I love and adore, and Christine and Christopher Milan came.
Christopher?
Milan.
I know who he is.
Okay, whatever. So, they came, and I really wanted to go to the party, but I said, out of all places, why do they have to have this wearing eye candy? But then I realized that eye candy was trying to pander to black people.
Yeah.
And I said, not me, and I'm not going. So I didn't go, and I still haven't met T.S. Madison. I really do want to one day.
Hopefully she come back.
Hopefully she does. But then it was something I was about to say.
And she still went.
But she still went and got their money. But the thing is, they're not from Philadelphia.
It doesn't matter.
And they might not go. They might not
Let me tell you something. With the internet, how dare you say they didn't know?
Hold on, they did.
Because there were plenty of people who were making them aware of it. And they chose to still get a check.
Let me pour that tea real quick.
Oh, so
Because some people was on Twitter. Hold on.
The internet, you think she wasn't going to hear about that?
Let me educate. Facts. Did you not see on Twitter them conversations going back and forth?
Yes.
There was conversation.
About it.
They 100%.
I saw that with my own eyes for her.
Let's be clear.
People telling her, let her know about it.
She was in for a check.
She was there for a check.
Let's be clear. She was formally warned.
That's why I don't watch her. I don't get entertained by her.
Because I know.
Because you're in it for a check.
Because at the end
and I'm like, you.
That show was good, though.
Who? Exactly. Because at the end of the day,
I'm not a fan of him. I'm a fan of. That's why. Who did I say I want to meet?
I said T.S.
T.S.
But all I'm gonna say about this
I didn't know that she knew.
All I'm gonna say about this situation, they knew. They knew.
They knew. They thought
they was bringing
and they thought that they were. And what they. Let me tell you what the spin was. They knew when they were dealing with it. Because they told them what the purpose of it was for. Because they was not trying to set them up for failures. Social Life Entertainment was like, we are trying to do this because some stuff here that happened. And they should have did their research and dug and said there's a choice. They didn't know how deep it was. And when they decided to announce themselves, first of all, T.S. came after Milan. First it was just Milan Christopher. Milan Christopher only went because he don't give a fuck about community. He just wants some attention.
No.
So let me
tell you what attention and
so let me
that's why he's always in the shade room.
There you go.
That's why he always on the internet with his ass out.
With Nikki, talking to Nikki. And the other part is too, with T.S., they threw T.S. a couple weeks after Milan, and there was enough stories about the backlash, and they made that horrible commercial. Remember that advertisement, that apology video?
It was horrible.
It was horrible. It was horrible. So let's be clear. They was complicit for their own self-interest. They're not from here. And my thing is, how you gonna basically is not from Philly? That is not
even Shangela went there. Like a couple of people kept going. I was like, I'm never going back.
I never went back.
I never went back.
I never went.
But guess what? I did go back recently because
they're
no longer icons.
Yeah, they're
taboo.
Yeah, but it's under new management though.
I'm gonna say this because a lot of people don't know that.
So you better investigate.
Get the news. Pull it in for us. I hate the news.
Exactly.
You better let me know.
Always happen. They always want the
He gonna like that story. He gonna like it.
It's fine. I'm gonna say this about that situation. I will tell you this. He still has ties to it. The owner do. He ran off. He still has ties. That transaction was like we're gonna take your name off of it.
But there's still
some stuff with their property. That was why that smooth transition happened fast. You can't just take over a property like that.
No.
Like that, no. So there was a thing where I think they moved the name and he just decided to be
out. I'm going back there. It's over.
You want to go back?
You already went.
All I want to tell
you already went.
But I want to tell people though, to be honest, we got to start having and pushing the needle forward and creating our own spaces. Though.
Yeah, we should have been doing that.
And that's what
I don't know why there's not a black owned.
But you know what? That wasn't black owned.
people to
Yeah.
go
That
to.
wasn't even black owned. And my
I
thing,
said, why is there not a black owned? There should be a black owned.
I don't know.
I don't understand. Why do we have social entertainment?
But you know what?
We have
Every
those
time-
small party groups
every time
who
we
take
have
our
something-
money to a white establishment.
But every time there's something black owned, it always gets shut down because niggas gonna be niggas.
No, because black
and
people.
it always happen, and we know it.
But niggas go to white establishments and they don't treat white establishments like that. It's the way that black people treat their businesses also. So we also have to give a little.
No, because you know why? Because white people, excuse me, I shouldn't say this, but when we go, if you act the fool and Woody's, you're getting put right the fuck
And
out.
black people need to
You
act the
already
same
know.
exact way.
And you
They
better
need to
not.
separate business from their friends and all this other
And
stuff.
they got walkie-talkies, and they're already watching you from the first place.
So
if you start acting,
so
listen,
surveillance
I ain't
is
never
what
been
is
to Woody's
working.
either.
I don't go there. You know,
I ain't never been.
Look, I have a man.
Oh, you
so I
only
don't
went
go out to the
to
clubs anymore.
Saturday. What's XL? You only went to XL.
Yeah, XL's not open anymore anyway.
Yeah, well, that's how
They
long
caught
I've
on
been
fire
out.
and
Listen, during my thought era years ago.
I go to places that
XO was
the air was over.
spot.
Yeah.
Just like
The air
shit.
was
I had my
over.
Yeah.
spots in there too.
What happened?
I wish I would have caught that.
I'm not gonna catch you.
I'm not going to
It's something about him being a thought in XL.
Was you?
Oh, he was being a thought in XL.
Oh, church Bible.
He gonna say that was the spot. I said I had my spot played with, and that's
And he probably did. In XO.
Okay. Well,
You had your spot played with?
No!
They played with Skyline?
well, anyway.
I want to make sure this camera's still recording.
XO Lounge is,
Yes, it is.
was
Who is it? Hour and 40 minutes.
XO Lounge
Oh, this
was
is a long video.
XO Lounge was one of the hottest spots.
It was.
It was.
Was that black owned?
No.
It wasn't?
It was Black Man.
that was the club that was on the side street.
Yeah, right by that Club Sahel.
Oh, trust me, I know.
It was all connected.
Because when you go out on that side street, you go to the back and you're on that back street.
What you doing
You
there?
got, well, how you know about
It's
the
a lot
back
of
street?
stuff they do in that parking lot, especially.
I was never in nobody's parking lot.
Just
He's
a
not
lot.
that-
See, I just gotta be in a bed. I have to be in a bed. You cannot fuck me in a car in a bed.
What?
I have to be in a bed.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
I'm just saying.
What?
I need to be in a
You
bed.
get it wherever you can.
No,
Come on, Janet
no,
Jackson. Come on, Andy.
No. I need to be in the
It's
bed.
it's so traditional. I need to
in a bed.
Let me tell you something.
Are you a millennial? Are you a millennial?
I am 27.
I gotta get it and I gotta get it now.
You know what? Be controversial.
Let me
Get
tell you
it on that public.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? No matter.
But I wasn't having sex in no car.
Okay.
Let's just be real about
Good.
that. I
Why
wasn't.
not?
But let me tell you something.
Now you will.
I know I wouldn't because I'm too big for that. I'm way too big for that.
Right.
But I will
You
tell
never
you
had
this.
sex in that car.
No, I have not. But I have sexual encounters.
Okay. Okay, Bill
Okay.
Clinton.
All right.
That is
It's
a
okay.
difference,
Okay. Because I'm gonna say you done told me some stories. I
Ernest is
know
so
you done did something in that car.
I in both my cars.
Okay.
I feel sorry for the new owners.
I need to be. Well, listen.
I hope they repost
I need
it.
to be in a
Let me
bed.
write a story
I
about
need to
that.
be in a bed. I need to.
But
be
let me
in a
tell you,
bed.
like you
Or a
said,
couch.
it don't matter where you
Or a
have it
couch.
at. No matter where you have it at, it's gonna be controversial. So do it in the car.
I'd rather be on the bed than the couch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I just
You
need
want that
to.
fall off.
I need to be.
I don't like to be in my bed because I hate changing my sheets. So yes, let's do it somewhere else.
So you just go.
Yes, let's do it somewhere else.
I changed my sheets.
Let me
every
tell you
week.
something. I like doing it outside because
No,
you
but
do it
I
outside
might change.
and you ain't got to clean
No,
nothing
then
up.
you came over. I gotta change them again
That's
tonight.
nasty.
Yes, you do.
Like besides you. But other than that, you got to clean those sheets up outside and nothing. Just walk
Right,
away.
just walk
Pull
away.
your pants up and walk away.
Yeah, it's over. Don't worry.
And send them on. I'll call you.
I'm joking.
I don't fuck. I make love.
I'm not having.
Look at him. Well, that's because he's in a relationship. None of us are in a relationship.
Before you did that,
don't
before
need
you
to
got
see
to
that
bury,
stuff.
Yeah.
He said him talk like that.
What'd you say?
He don't need to see you talk like that on the show.
I'm classy.
Okay.
I'm in a bed. 300
300.
thread count. Sheets. Change them out every week.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm
All
just
right.
saying.
Okay.
I'm having Mariah Carey bed sex.
Listen. Oh,
I
Nice,
got time for
comfortable
that.
sheets.
That Mariah Carey.
She's a ham hog. Okay. We having a farm.
And you know Mariah's having dirty sex.
Okay.
Right.
As big as she is, you think she's not?
Get the fuck out!
And she wants it all, and you better eat it.
Right?
That white guy
I know
is
that
blowing
stuff.
her back out.
Listen.
Tell me about it.
Okay.
Anyway.
With that flavor.
And he's still around. He's doing
he's
something.
he's doing something
He's
right.
flexing
He's
on-
eating
no,
it
he
right.
ain't
He's
fucking
hitting it
it.
right.
Oh my
The
God.
little
I still do
things
think she
go
had
on.
better sex than Nick Cannon. I think that was the one for her.
You never know. Dudes that be doing all that
I don't
talk.
even know.
too much hype.
She had twins, so that probably.
Yeah, I think that Nick Cannon gave her everything she needed.
Dudes that do a lot of talking like that, I be like,
didn't Nick Cannon leave her? Nick Cannon left her.
The only hoe that do a lot of talking that probably as good as Ray J.
They said Ray J
video wasn't that good.
Well, we saw the video, he was bad.
No, but it's still, I feel like if you can fuck, then you gonna fuck anybody who you with, who can't fuck, you gonna fuck them good.
I don't know.
Ray J was horrible.
Yeah. I just feel like he done slept with so many people, he just thought that maybe.
No, I know a whole lot of whores that's
He
horrible.
just had a big dick and everybody liked the video because of
that video was the worst video I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yes.
It wasn't. Oh, so you like the
I didn't like it.
Wait, hold on. How they humping?
Who?
Remember the boxer, Yusuf Mack?
oh my God, where is he?
Somewhere on gay porn. Because you know he started doing
Yes.
Full time.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen
with no
anything
teeth in his
since
mouth.
then. I only
He
seen
got
two
no teeth in his
videos.
mouth.
It got.
Oh, there's no teeth in his mouth.
I seen two videos after he came out.
Ugh.
They say that's the best kind of
They may say it, but I'm not gonna try it.
You never know.
You gotta have all your
Do you want your dick shredded?
You need to have all your teeth in your mouth if you gonna put it on mine.
You want your dick shredded?
That's
But they say that's the best. I never had nobody with no teeth.
I never did it either. I said they say, because
That's
I heard.
Well, they can keep saying it, but I don't get up and leave out that conversation.
Anybody out there know about that?
Okay, drop it up in the comments. Woo! I can only imagine. They say
there's one person who won't entertain that conversation. That's me.
Well, let me keep.
I don't want to be in the bed with somebody who ain't got all their teeth in their mouth.
you gotta be in it. You never in the bed anyway. You gonna be in the car.
I don't want to be in the car.
Don't be dental phobic.
Dental phobic?
Yes, dental phobic.
Certain things don't get me aroused, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I need
They don't
a
get me
nice
aroused.
smile.
Yeah,
I need nice
things that
teeth
get me
and nice
aroused.
hands. If you're gonna touch me, I need you to have nice
If you
hands.
missing teeth in your mouth, and I'm somebody who likes to watch you giving me oral, that's going to be hard for me to look at. Me, first of all, I'm not one to turn off the lights.
I
like
don't need
the
to
lights
look
on.
at you. Just
Yeah, I need to.
to.
I want the lights on when we in the room having sex.
Really?
Yes, I don't want the lights off. I'm not
You
12.
like that?
I'm
I like
30.
Make the lights on.
I like semi
Black
light.
out.
Yes, the lights
I don't want the lights off.
I like semi light. I like the
Let
the
me tell you,
night
I want
the
to see your
nighttime where it's
ass
like at
clapping.
5 a.m.
I want to see you on my. I want to, and I oftentimes I tell you to look at me when you're doing.
The camera's
I
on.
can't tell you to.
The camera's on.
It's
Hold on, you know Britney Spears was like with Ryan Seacrest, like when Ryan Seacrest was like Gator.
How can I ask you? How can I tell you to look at me doing it with the lights on?
He's a top.
Who?
I'm joking.
Yes, Britney Spears did try Ryan Seacrest one time.
What did Britney Spears say?
Britney like, he's not good.
You said that about right?
That's how her face was looking like. What?
I love Britney for that.
Okay,
I said the same thing about Ryan Seacrest. She's
I was
not.
like,
Me too.
Let me tell you something.
Something
I'll
happened.
introduce you to, and they'll tell you, baby.
oh.
Ryan Seacrest is definitely not straight.
He might be
Ryan
bi.
Seacrest. Oh, Ryan Seacrest.
American.
No, so let me say, so I
He
know
doesn't
Ryan
identify.
Seacrest.
But Ryan Seacrest is not somebody I would even look at twice.
But you know, he got
I would.
accused of
I like Ryan
sexual
Seacrest.
assault at the workplace.
Yeah, oh yeah, but you know ABC wasn't having that. He still kept his money.
He kept his job. But I was trying to understand how was it a woman. I said, he's gay, I thought.
Okay.
So when
but
we
the
talk
same
about
rate, where's Tyler Perry's kids?
We're not
Where
going
are
to
the
slam.
kids?
We're
I'm
not going to slam.
I'm not going to slander him. I'm just saying, where are his kids? I asked the question. Like,
He has one child.
Where is your son, Treya? Where are
Who
your
has
kids?
one child?
Tyler Perry. Where are the kids at?
I ain't never seen his child.
Where is that child? That's all I'm asking.
Who he got him with? Gabrielle Union? Was he the surrogate?
No Tyler Perry slander will exist.
That wasn't slander. It was a question. I asked. See, I'm over here trying to be April Ryan. You ain't let me do my job.
I am.
Where are the kids? Where are the kids?
Who's the mother?
Where?
Medea. Medea.
Some lady.
He had kids with Medea.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. If I could pay somebody to help me,
He was walking around that party.
shut the hell up. Because
Oh, you saw that cameras.
you on 3 kids.
Okay, but when he came, but hold on, when he came to Detroit.
Yeah.
Always.
I knew that.
And that was when he was in Detroit. He came to Detroit for the ABJ convention.
Aretha Franklin's funeral.
No, ABJ convention.
Well, he was there too.
Yeah, the
It was-
National
he was-
Association.
Okay, so breaking news, since you like breaking news, Democratic candidate,
I can't see that.
Don't say
Kristen.
That's taking a similar.
Kristen Cinema, she's bleeding.
Yeah, now in the too close to call Arizona state race. As more
I don't
ballots
care
are
about
coming.
that. I'm worried about Georgia.
I need to know about Stacey Abrams. Honestly.
Georgia. Georgia.
I can't believe
Shout
it.
out over y'all doing that.
Anyway, with the features next.
What we got another topic?
Oh, Missy Elliott and Mariah Carey are nominated for the songwriter.
But Missy Elliott is the first female rapper to be nominated.
And that means she should just get the nomination.
But the thing is, you know what? This is the thing that always bothered me. And I had a conversation with somebody recently. It's crazy that people say that, like, between Lil' Kim and Nicki Minaj, that there was no female, like,
said it wasn't?
People always say that. You don't ever hear nobody say, like, Missy Elliott is like was the queen of rap, and she
because
was.
You know what? No, because Missy Elliott didn't put herself on that pedestal like that. She was.
But I feel like we should have because she deserves it.
I think that's kind of like a gimmick. The queen thing.
Okay, that's not a gimmick. It's a real thing. We call Beyonce being a queen ain't a gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
That's who she is.
It's a gimmick.
She's Queen Bee.
It's a gimmick.
It's not a gimmick. It's the truth.
That's because Beyonce. There's really no other female out there doing exactly what she does.
But no, and the same thing with Missy Elliott. The only person that was doing what Missy Elliott was doing was Ludacris.
We understand.
Well, when you had your moment, I let you have it.
I'm just saying.
Okay?
Missy don't need, listen, no one needs to argue with Missy.
She doesn't need a title.
No one needs to argue with Missy. Missy is there. My whole thing is that my thing is with Missy.
The same way I feel about Tony Braxton. I feel like they haven't given Tony Braxton her stripes yet.
Listen,
I feel like Missy Elliott deserves more than what they've given her.
All I'm saying is, at this point, Missy just needs the video. Missy needs the video.
That's all I'm saying.
Missy needs the Video Vanguard Award, and that's it.
And she's more than that.
After that, she's more than that. But I don't think no one's denying. I don't feel like.
Yeah, I don't feel like nobody has ever said Missy Elliott's music was trash.
No,
they ain't say that. They just say what they don't say about Tony Braxton. But I feel like the stripes are not there. Hip hop honors need to get Missy Elliott her night. She deserves her night.
Wait.
They're not. Tony Braxton did her thing.
Okay, but you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but his issue here. The issue is that it's just a generational thing. Missy took a break for a long period of time, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You
take a 12-year
break, and then you come back 12 years later.
That's a generational divide.
That's right.
There's apps and things that was out with that she's not out with, so
that's just like going to jail. You go to jail 12 years ago. 12 years later, there are things that are not the same.
That's not the same.
A whole new
so I don't think that you can fault the current generation. You talk about people. Who are these people? Young kids on these apps.
I'm talking
Think about it. 12 years ago, you didn't even have an iPhone.
Like that's the same conversation I had with my friends about Janet Jackson. It's like she did so much. I feel like this year they gave her an icon award, but I still feel like Janet Jackson deserves more.
Everybody knows Janet Jackson.
Everybody gave Janet. What are you talking about?
It's my age that don't know a lyric from her.
Okay, how old are they? They probably under 21.
28. This dude was 28. I got one of my friends. She don't know one.
She probably don't know Janet Jackson. If she's 28, she knows Janet Jackson.
She don't know what Janet Jackson.
That's why 27 and know Janet.
You know what?
Probably.
I'm
not going to Janet.
But you probably couldn't hear her.
I'm not arguing that.
I'm 32.
I'm not arguing.
And some of the songs I don't know the words to because I couldn't hear her.
But you can see her.
But you can see her. Yeah. But you know at least you know the
I'm
chorus.
not arguing.
No, I'm saying no. The verse of it.
You're trying to get a rise out of it. You over there.
It's two Janet fans. I'm not trying to get a rise out of it.
I live for Janet.
I'm just being honest. Some songs I don't know the words. Y'all know them.
What I will say
is you know the words, you know the lyrics.
But you know that's what I'm saying. I know the verse.
You know the chords. You know the
chords. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
but some of the verses, I'm like, wait, what is she saying? So you gotta wait.
Sometimes I don't even know all of them.
I remember you saying that my dad.
Janet Jackson is the one who introduced me to AZLyrics.com.
You need Janet Jackson. You need your headphones turned all the way up and all the sound around.
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you this: Missy Elliott has wrote and produced so many songs, and she is the best at what she does. When Missy does is she boasts on her music all the time about how good she is,
her culture
and how she's
in
the
the
best,
videos,
and how nobody's better. She don't need to go up there and say, "Yes, I'm the queen."
They know she is.
Especially us in that generation. We know.
The thing is,
we remember those music videos premiering.
All I gotta say is this, and this is how we end this with this whole queen talk. Nicki Minaj broke history with 100 Billboard entries. I'm just making a point.
I just don't want to talk
about not a single number one. Missy has number ones.
Number ones doesn't define. Number ones doesn't define. Tony,
no, she never has number one album.
It doesn't.
It was like the longest running song.
It's light years better than.
Working should have been number one.
Number ones does not define it just doesn't
But
define
it's
you as
still
an
a
artist.
history.
It is.
It is.
It's history.
It
Because
is.
Rihanna taking it away from you.
Because Cardi B got 2 of them.
3.
Rihanna got a bunch.
And you know the crazy thing is,
Rihanna got a bunch over my
this
girl.
could be Cardi
but
B.
Rihanna can't touch my
Rihanna
girl on
done paid
stage.
for them number ones. Though.
Y'all not gonna come for Rihanna. We not doing
They
that.
paid for those number
2
ones.
years
I got that
ago,
argument, 'cause I don't know. I
I
don't
live
argue
for
that she
I live
or
for
she
Rihanna.
did.
We
It
not
was
gonna
like,
do that.
at
I
that
live for
time,
Beyonce.
Y'all not doing that for
Every-
Rihanna.
it's like every song Rihanna
Yeah,
came
come
out
for
with
Rihanna.
went straight to number 1, and it was like
Because she
only
was a
one
straight
on
hit
iTunes.
maker.
Okay,
And they say
and
she-
Beyonce is a straight stage fucking
Slayer.
And we not denying that.
Beyonce was
And we
Slayer
not denying
stage
that.
from left to
Hold
right,
on.
middle.
All I
Beyonce
gotta
ain't slay a chart and a
That means
long
she didn't have to
time.
slay no chart, but she's slaying them stadiums.
Right.
A stadium that you go to every time she hits.
But all I
one.
gotta say is that every artist, but
I
every
remember good-
hold
She
on.
done went from the baseball
Hold on.
stadium to the
Hold
football
on.
stadium.
But
She don't
see-
even look at the
but see,
basketball
this-
arena
this
no
is they-
more.
Do they always want to bring Beyonce in the conversation like as if her crown is not secure? All I'm
Yeah,
saying is
we are
that
secure.
every artist got things.
And we've been secure for 21 years.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, but all I'm saying is that Rihanna
Beyonce
has been for 10
Beyonce
years solo.
Beyonce put
and
her
been doing it.
time in since
Yes.
1997.
Yes.
In 2018, and you selling out stadiums when some people in 97 are not even relevant anymore.
I hear you.
And not only that, a lot of people, but her husband as well. He's been out since 96 and he's still in the game and he's pushing 50.
Who's questioning her?
I'm just saying.
No,
Because
it-
motherfuckers start to act like they
You
don't
get him
know.
started, you know he's gonna go off about
Motherfuckers started to act like they was
Beyonce.
thinking
talking about Jay-Z
This is
earlier.
literally-
Yeah.
Well, that's Jay-Z.
I'm mixing
Beyonce's
Jay-Z's
been doing
look.
this since
I
1997.
never discredit Jay-Z's body of work. Don't do that. Separate the look from the
It's
body
the
of work.
motherfuckers from
Ugly,
97.
that's
It's the motherfuckers from 97 that didn't even walk in this
I don't
earth.
lie now. I don't ever lie. Jay-Z's
Okay.
he's an ugly, talented millionaire.
Okay.
Oh my God, he is not.
He's still an ugly basher.
Taste is subjective. Taste is subjective. But all I gotta say
Well,
is
Beyonce don't think so.
well,
No, she don't. And that's fine because
She gave him 3 kids.
And
gave
beautiful
three
kids.
and beautiful
Blue,
kids.
thank God she look
Yeah.
like the Beyonce.
Well, listen.
'Cause,
let me tell you something. The three of them.
That's right.
The three of them.
I shouldn't be talking about
She has children. She has
I'm putting the
children.
phone
Well,
up.
at least she got children.
I don't want no parts. I'll put my camera because I don't
Well,
want
she was
to
the same Ashanti can have them.
Ooh.
Ashanti, don't do that, and that's not right.
And then
You
that's
just
the
say
same way.
that's somebody's child, and you gonna say that ain't
I
right?
never came nobody's
When he
child.
said, "Well, thank God she like Beyonce," you talking
And I said I don't want no parts
yeah,
here.
you better not want no fucking parts.
I don't talk about somebody's ovaries.
Okay? I don't know what, but I'm saying
Don't
she got
do that.
side bones like a man, so she may not have no ovaries.
have you seen that Ashanti video? She is built like a coat. She looks
Yeah,
so fucking
well,
good.
there's some men out there called trannies that are built like a coat too.
We don't use that word.
Well,
We don't-
transgenders.
I'm just gonna let her act crazy.
Transgender.
I'm not even gonna engage in that. Ashanti,
You can engage in it.
Ashanti has a body
You can engage.
better
in it.
than the one you got.
Well, you're right
Yeah,
about that.
She's good.
You're right about
She's
that.
good.
But let me tell you something.
She's
I ain't
good.
never had a problem.
You
getting
look
somebody-
like you're
Let me tell you
pregnant.
something. I
Do
ain't
you
never
got
had a problem getting somebody.
Do
in my
you got
car.
ovaries?
Okay.
Because I can't tell. Ashanti may not have had babies, but you can have them for.
Let me. I sure
You
can.
can have them
I
for.
sure can. But let me tell you,
Okay?
something. She couldn't keep a man. She can't have a man.
She had a man for 10 years.
Who?
Nelly's still together
And
for 10
where's he
years.
at now?
She don't want him no
He's
more.
married, happy, and doing his thing.
Okay, my thing is if you feel like your artist is so great, you don't gotta bash somebody who
Right.
hasn't tried on the Billboard in 10 years. I'm
What are you
just saying,
talking about?
You
And
ain't,
then
I'm
you're
just
trying
saying,
it.
if you feel
You're
I
trying
got the
it.
best.
You ain't gotta
First of all,
mention that.
I-
You ain't gotta
what-
mention
what did
that.
he say?
He said, if you feel like your artist is so great, you don't gotta bash somebody who ain't tried it on the Billboard in 10 years.
Well, she hasn't.
Well, that's fine. But you ain't gotta drag
Well, I'm
her.
not
It's
bashing her.
true. Because the last hit was the way that I love you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you ain't gotta drag her for that. It's
I'm
fine.
not.
Why not?
Because when the last time
You dragging
when the last time your
you
fucking
dragging
friend
everybody
Brandy
out.
had a hit? When the last time your friend Brandy had a
excuse me,
hit?
that's
When the
what
last
I'm
time your fucking friend Michelle Williams had a hit?
I know.
None.
That
ain't no
Drew millions of people.
There ain't no
But that was a
fucking
hit,
hit.
okay?
She had to go.
Drew a
She had to go. She
million
had
people.
to
That was a hit.
get. She had to go crazy at a fucking psych ward to get that.
She's not.
Oh,
crazy.
yeah,
Oh,
now.
no,
Since y'all wanna
no.
try it. Since y'all wanna try it.
Yup.
Let's try it.
Yup.
Let's try it.
Is that still recording?
Yeah.
I'm-
And edit that part
No,
out.
we're not going to
I'm not having that. Because you want to look like a
Yeah, you want to look like a fool?
You want to look like a fool?
Yeah.
Then you know.
Jake John shots.
Yeah.
He ain't never built a shape. This is listen.
Yeah.
This is the Skorpion show. Over 30,000
Michelle
people
don't see that
are
part.
watching this.
Don't do that, Michelle.
I love
Because
Michelle.
because the thing is, I don't have nothing
And
against
she
Michelle.
had nothing to do with none of this.
No, that's not right.
But you know what?
That's not right.
What they do when they get get mad at somebody who ain't had a hit in 10 years. They get mad.
All
Don't
I
get mad
gotta
at
say
Michelle.
is-
Stop.
You gotta come back.
No,
You
because
gotta-
Michelle be watching. I don't have nothing. I actually like Michelle. Don't do that.
No,
I
you-
said that in
I didn't say don't do that. You did.
I did that in retaliation.
Crazy in the psych ward is what you say when that camera is off.
Yeah.
And it
right.
came out.
That's what you're not supposed to say at all.
All I'm gonna say
Okay,
is
that's
all
worse.
I'm gonna
And you
say
shouldn't
It is, but so is women out there that carry kids is real.
Yeah.
Well, and you talking about Shanti's over.
She got sideburns.
That don't got nothing to do with nothing.
got no
It's fucking. No, she don't.
And
Get out my face, 50 Cent. Bye.
I'm gonna say
Don't do
this.
that. Because a woman not being able to carry kids like Gabrielle Union is really real. And y'all crack jokes about that.
Well, he's upset about Ashanti.
No, I'm upset the fact that y'all trying to pin my
You
joke.
just
It
sat
was a
here.
joke.
You just
Y'all
sat
crack the
here. No,
same
wait.
joke.
He just
About
sat
women
here
not being
and
able to have
ugly
kids.
ass Tiny for about 20 minutes.
She's ugly.
See, no. See,
Not being baby. Not being ugly as Jay-Z because you can pay somebody. Yeah.
And
Ugly
the
guy.
thing
Well, you
is,
can always
having
pay
mental
somebody
health
to do that.
problems is not that
You
crazy.
ugly
They got
as Jay-Z and
They
Tiny.
got medication.
You gotta have somebody that want to
And
get
now
you
you say something about Ashanti.
They got
They get all upset.
No, it's not that. I didn't get mad
Somebody
about
who ain't
Ashanti
have a hit in
stuff.
10 years.
He shaded Ashanti not let it go. It's the fact that y'all trying to sit here and make it seem
Let
like
me
I was
tell
really
you,
being
he shaded
Michelle.
Tiny, who has a hit TV show with her husband, who had a hit tour with Escape that came in. He shaded Jay-Z.
And she got 6 lips, and he got 9 lips. Y'all notice that people I'm dissing got a lot of
He
lips.
shaded
There's a whole lot of
Beyonce,
lips.
but yeah, he's always on the show,
Okay.
screaming and hollering.
All I'm gonna say-
He even was almost front row at this last one, but yet he
I
always
was
shaded
front row.
Beyonce. Yeah, but he's shading her.
I
He
guess
paid all
Black
that
and
money
Shade Beyonce,
to see her.
I was actually,
Okay.
I like Beyonce.
All I gotta say.
I'm
Let's talk about
not
that.
crazy
Let's
like
talk
you.
about that Ashanti
Bitch,
tour.
You're 35. You're 35.
Let's
and you
talk.
let
First
Beyonce
of all,
live.
I haven't reached
You're
35, but you need to hold
Bitch,
straight.
you're
You reached my
35.
age,
And it's
okay?
fine.
Because I've been
Yeah,
your
I'm a
age.
while away.
You've never been
I
mine.
do gotta
so
pray.
you better hope you
Because
see my age, baby.
You're light years
You
ahead
better
of me.
hope you see
And you're a
my
grown
age.
ass man.
I've been
that argue
your
about
age.
Beyonce
You
all day.
who
Up
argue
and
about
down
it,
my
and I get
timeline.
paid. And just like I'm getting paid
Not
this
to argue.
episode, but you
You
will not
should.
be getting paid.
You'll get paid for
because
the
I
shade room.
will.
For
Okay,
the shade room.
I will.
For the shade
Okay.
room, you'll get paid for the shade room. And you're
You
always in
talk
those
about the
comments.
shade room.
You're always in those comments arguing about Beyonce.
You know why? Because the Shade Room comments brings me new followers, which brings me money when I'm doing my promotion.
Okay.
How you doing? Okay. You need to. Maybe I could teach your girl how to sell some tickets.
She got 40 million.
She
40
could sell
million.
25
That's a
tickets,
lie.
okay?
That they and
It was
and the
true.
college
Okay.
said the college came out with a
Now the college
post.
said.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on, wait, calm down. Calm down.
They're lying.
Calm
They're
down.
lying.
Calm
They're
down.
lying.
No, calm down.
Come on, reporter.
Hold
Report
on.
the news.
He better go me 35.
Hey,
he better go people see my age.
35.
Hey,
We had more people
Nobody-
coming on live show
hold on.
than bought tickets
No,
for Ashanti.
hold on.
I got people following me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook that bought tickets to a Ashanti show. So how dare you?
Hold on.
Okay.
All I'm gonna say is that no one can hear y'all right now. And I just want to be
All right,
clear.
let's not be
Y'all need
mean.
to really
Let's
be
not be
clear.
mean.
Y'all need to be clear.
Let's not be mean.
No one can hear y'all right now, and I'm just sitting here looking like a sweat.
Well, keep looking, because let me tell you something.
Hold on, no.
How dare he tell me something?
You're 35.
Wait,
You're
wait,
35.
Because we about to go. We about to go.
Beyonce.
Come on.
All I'm gonna say is this: is at the end of the day, this is too much.
What?
I'm just saying,
Because you had your moment, this ain't your moment. This shouldn't be like you trying to be a star.
Hold on.
This ain't your moment. You had your moment, I say you're quiet. Run the footages back. Run the footages. I was quiet when you talked. Now it's time for you to be quiet.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Moment.
Yes,
I'm
you
on
had
it.
your moment.
I'm on
When
it.
you was talking about Angela
I'm
Rye
sorry.
and you saw all the girls was sitting there,
come in.
we let you
Hold
have
on.
it. We
Hold
let
on.
you have it. We
Right.
let you
Hold
have
on.
it.
No.
And I was
Let me
quiet.
tell you something.
You talk about-
You
you
got
talk
me
about-
Down
confused.
Trump said, be quiet.
No, all
Sit
I'm
there.
saying is,
Be quiet.
Hold on.
That's what Trump said.
Hold on.
Sit down and be quiet.
All I gotta say is,
We're not talking to you.
no, let me just put it this way. Hold on, real quick.
How many times you
Real
Hold
quick.
on.
All I'm gonna say is,
How
real
long we
quick,
gotta hold?
you gotta have some decorum and some respect. You coming at people's mental health, people's
Now
baggage,
you wanna
all
join
this.
the club.
All
Join
I'm
the-
saying,
join
all
the
I'm saying,
ADD club.
you can get mad, you can have opinions, but you ain't gonna do is you're not about to sit up here and you're not gonna be coming for people outside the limits of stand, and that's what I can't stand with the stand culture. If you want to talk about charts, I came for Ashanti's chart numbers. The girl ain't charted in 10 years. That's a fact.
So, if you're gonna hold me accountable, reporter, if you're gonna hold me accountable, if you're gonna hold me accountable, then hold him accountable.
Okay, he's here now. Quiet.
Talk about
I
over
didn't
it.
say nothing about nobody's mental health.
You talked about somebody's ovaries.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
And that thing you said earlier,
No,
that won't be said.
I couldn't chill
You couldn't chill about that.
I've been doing this for
because
10 years.
that was inappropriate.
No,
that was not
let me
cool.
tell you something. What was
Don't pick
inappropriate
and choose.
is that you think you
I
were
ain't
coming
picking
on
and choosing.
my show. Tell me how to do something.
I'm just
I can say
saying.
what the I want to say on my show.
Y'all coming from okay.
Y'all can pick and choose.
Okay,
It's not
I'm
okay.
not picking and choosing.
He was wrong. He was wrong.
Watch what you say, because that's you know Ernest might have an article about it.
Listen.
Well, listen.
I'm the bitch that got all the shows.
You can have
all
all because that'll bring us more people to watch. Because they gotta try to figure out who the fuck is the Skorpion show.
I'm
So
just
right
saying.
on.
Right
I've
on.
covered y'all.
Just spell my name.
I have.
Just spell my
And
name.
you covered me, and I appreciate you.
Right.
You covered the
Why-
things that matter.
Why would you cover him?
You jealous bitch.
What the fuck was you
Yeah, Diggy had a movie come out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the movie.
Can you tell them about the movie?
Let's talk about the work.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about the work. Right.
Let's talk about
So
the
the
work.
movie I
Because
was
he's
in.
the only one working. Besides him and Ashanti.
Anyway,
No.
I was in
No.
all I'm work was about a very touchy subject about sexual assault,
Okay.
and I so the
Me
thing
Too.
No, it wasn't about Me Too, but it was just about different forms of sexual assault. I played a 17-year-old boy named Kyle.
You can play something.
You can play something.
I didn't have a beard.
With
Oh,
that
you have a beard? Oh, we have a beard.
I have a beard and I didn't have a beard then.
Okay, okay. All right.
Had you came when you got invited, bitch, then you would know. But we're not gonna talk
My
about
mother
that.
had a doctor's appointment that
That's not what you told me. The text message said differently. You said you needed a record. Receipts. Well, you owed the receipt.
And
The receipt.
both.
Well, I wasn't invited at all.
Both.
But that's all
Because
right.
last time I invited you, you said something different too. So we're not gonna talk about that because the thing is the past is in the
This
past.
the guy in
Now let it
person.
go.
Yeah.
Another thing
Let me
is,
get personal for me.
And I asked
When Kevin told me he wasn't
I asked
invited.
Miguel, did he get an invite? He said no.
Yeah. And I left him
I got
right at that,
invited.
didn't I?
To the,
yeah,
Didn't I
I
leave
got
at that?
invited.
No.
yeah.
And I asked
oh,
him
you
questions.
told him no.
Who told me no?
You told him no?
No, he didn't
Oh.
invite me.
Oh.
So we're not gonna do that because now y'all.
You invited me to the movie thing?
last year. Remember when
Last
we
year.
Who the receipts out since you keep your
Remember,
receipts?
remember we talked about you said that your sister had a graduation on
Yeah,
that
then
day.
my sister's graduation was that same day, so that was a legitimate excuse. Now, what Kevin
And
did,
then you
I
don't
don't know
even
if his
text
mother
all the
was
time, so
No.
I know.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Okay,
He
well.
told you his mother was sick, but then he said he had to record.
I
Yeah.
have both.
So yeah.
I
So
have both.
I said, Diggy, I said, Diggy, would there be another screen of film? I really want to see it. I'm just getting home from the doctors with my mom, and I have to record.
Oh,
Now,
both.
did
That's what
I say
said.
that?
It was probably both.
But the
I
thing
said
was,
that.
when he
It was probably
texted me, he had enough time to get ready and come, had he not had to record.
Maybe
That's
he
what I'm
had to
saying.
go
So
for
the
it.
record,
He's saying that
Maybe
the
that
mother's
wasn't
thing
gonna
was
be a
legitimate,
show.
but the recording could have waited.
yeah.
Because it's all about
Because recording.
Oh, no, because I got to get paid too.
Yeah, it's
No,
all
because my thing was
I think he probably wanted a check.
But listen to this. Is what I'm
We
saying.
gonna see on
Listen to
DVD.
this. Listen to this.
Is it
Though.
coming on DVD?
Can you listen to this?
I want to see another screening of it.
So my thing is this though. So my thing is
Oh, finish up.
recording something is like something that you could have just did it the next day. I'm not asking you to wait a long time. You said you could do it the next day. Like this is happening tonight, and it's the only time I can do it. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like if that's your friend and you want to support. I don't feel the type of way, and I'm not mad at Kevin about it. Like
You
it
sound
doesn't-
mad.
Oh my God.
You do kind of sound. You sound mad. You sound like Meek Mill right
I
now.
always sound mad. I always sound mad.
So just like.
But I'm not upset. I'm telling you, I'm not upset. I got a big mouth, and if I was upset, I would say I'm upset. I'm not.
All right.
That's still
All right,
cool.
you're not upset.
But long story
Okay.
short, I was in the movie. The movie did well. The movie sold out, and it was about sexual assault.
What theater was it at?
It was in a Ritz, downtown at Fort.
I've never been to the Ritz.
the Fort-
Yeah, so is it going to have like a regular Philly release or anything?
So there was two. It was two premieres in Philadelphia.
Oh,
So the next stop, they're trying to do one in New York and one in Atlanta.
So you mean to tell me if it was two premieres, he couldn't get invited to the next one if
Right.
he missed the first one?
I think I invited him to the first one. He told me he can only make
So
the
then why
second
you ain't
one
then why he ain't make the second one?
because he had to record.
What was the excuse for not making the first one?
Wait
Wait a minute. I was on his side at first, but no, I was on your side
At
at
first,
first,
yeah.
but now I'm
He
on his
probably
side.
had a jacked appointment. Who knows?
you are
you think-
trying it.
You say like I'm not upset.
With me from
You
there.
can come and it was your birthday. I can get
It was
upset.
my birthday. So
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
my
get upset.
When your birthday?
Your
October
birthday.
12th.
You met somebody on
Oh,
Jackie's
so
birthday?
it was the 11th.
You met somebody on Jackie's
It was
birthday?
11.
Man,
So your birthday was
I
the
couldn't
12th.
make- I couldn't make his premiere
Oh.
because it was my birthday.
Oh.
Your birthday was on the 12th. My premiere was on the 11th.
Oh.
It was the day before.
Nigga get all of us together. Well, you know what? He put a story about you on the paper.
Yeah, he
He
did.
got you so much. That's how you thought you got some press.
Yeah.
I know. And
You got some
I was
attention.
thankful. Well, I was right
You were very
there.
thankful.
And he didn't make it about about him. So,
Well, and look,
You know what? Okay.
he couldn't make it.
I need
He couldn't make it, and I wasn't invited. So that's all right.
Everybody, and he got pressed.
And he still got pressed.
There you go.
And it's sold out.
And it's sold out.
It's sold out.
Bitch, I probably wouldn't have went anyway.
That's how you get invited. That's how you get invited. See how shady they are? I want y'all to know how shady they are. They shady.
tell you later.
So, bitch, when I get an Academy Award or I get a fucking Oscar, don't come.
when you get your BET award,
Don't come.
Okay,
I'm not gonna go. If I get one, I won't even get it because I
When
ain't
you get
showing
your
up.
Soul Train Award, then I'll think about
Yeah.
it.
Or Razzie was acting.
You won't be invited. The same way you wasn't invited to movies,
I
you
saw
won't
that
be invited to
trailer.
that either.
That's all right.
Okay?
I saw the trailer too.
I just want you to
No,
come.
I'm not going to this. I'm not going to this. I hope he don't invite me. I just hope he don't invite me. Because it's going to be a fast and up. But damn, I ain't never seen somebody type no that fast.
Okay, so the trailer was very
Good, they hate her. Yeah, hate her.
drunkenly.
They hate her. All I can do is find a joke.
He played, he was 17.
You gotta put the link in the bio.
Please put the link and let them decide if the trailer's trash.
Diggy was really good. It wasn't bad.
I know he's a hater.
I didn't say, I didn't say
I ain't better than Beyonce because we know Beyonce can't.
Let me tell you.
Hey, you can't-
Okay, I ain't better than that lady.
Okay, everybody.
That's okay.
Listen,
Yes, I do. And that's why the only thing I do better than Beyonce.
We went to the same acting class.
Yeah, bitch. Beyonce needs to go wherever school Latoya goes to. Because
That shit
just
is
killed
Green
that
Leaf,
one.
Green Leaf.
I love her.
Bitch. Did you
Yes,
see how
I
she
did.
got the passes together last night?
When she said,
Oh, I didn't see that new episode. Yeah, don't say what happened. 'Cause I gotta watch it again.
that was with the end though.
Oh my God, I'm hot.
She
No,
did the
Between these lights and y'all,
Listen.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Listen.
y'all don't understand how to be a star? This is what it takes to be a star.
Oh, I know
you
that's
know,
right.
we know, you know.
Yeah.
Okay? Because Kevin feels some kind of way about you being a star.
Oh no, I don't feel no kind
No,
of way
he
about
just
it.
not.
Yes,
I don't feel no kind of way.
No, he feels that way that you
How long you been in the
Garrett
damn
Garrett him on his show.
No, listen, I don't even feel bad about that.
Oh,
That's it.
so you like being gathered? Because he gathered you.
Bitch, you been gathered 20 times. I
Right.
could be gathered once. You got
We took turns
More
gathering.
than that.
I think we all
From this
got
end to the table.
Listen,
You should mind your business. We're guests here.
I am not.
Okay?
I'm not
And we don't
gathering.
live here.
I'm not gathering here.
He spoke this true.
I think you gathered them first. Yeah, you did.
Listen.
And then we all started tag teaming.
We are.
Because y'all can't stand on your own.
Come here, Kevin. Get in
You
there,
can't stand on
Kevin.
your
I
own.
don't feel like I don't want Ted. You know what?
I can stand on my own.
We're going to go. This
Yeah.
has been good.
Yeah, we
Yes,
are
we
gonna
will.
go. 'Cause I'm hungry. and I gotta go.
It's 2 hours. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, and I'm tired of doing things for free.
And I don't know how this
Turn off the
multi-
cameras.
I don't even know how this multi-camera shit gonna work. So
Well, I don't know who you think will pay.
Can you cut off these cameras?
You get to get some
I know
trailer
you
right here.
got. I know you got to check for that movie.
You mind your business. Don't worry about my pockets.
he better have got
He better
it.
I never got a
As
check
much
from
as he was
you.
promoting it.
And
I
well,
never
you got
got-
history of not getting paid.
Clearly.
Don't
I
look
keep coming
at
back to this
me.
house for free. I keep
Because
coming
you
back
know
to
what?
this house for free. With the trash in the corner.
I am a good boss.
You are.
You are.
Here we go.
I'm done.
Here we
Let's talk
go.
about the trade.
You're trying me.
I
Oh,
love
you
y'all.
know I heard you. I want to thank.
I love y'all.
I want to thank Dennis.
With no trash.
Dennis.
And no bag. The trash.
Don't do my corner like that. Don't do my corner like that. Bitch, just throw it in the corner. I'll sweep it up later. So,
He said, "Where's the trash?" I said, "On the floor." He gonna say,
I said, throw it on the floor, bitch.
but before you said that, I said, "On the floor."
Yeah, I said, where's the trash? And Kelsey on the floor.
Throw it on the floor. I'll get it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
Oh my God.
I want to thank Dennis.
Where is-
Dennis is talking about us. Or
No, he's talking about you. Because you're the only one saying his name.
Yeah, I want to thank Ernest and Diggy and Mikkel for being here tonight.
Well, why you think
And
we
Mikkel
got
for being
heavy?
attentive and not being on that phone too much.
Yeah, well,
We had a good time.
this is good
We did
TV.
this.
Very good.
That's why I invited him.
Yeah, make sure,
Because we know how to make you money.
make sure you send this to a couple people.
Yeah. No, not
The same way I promote
Yeah.
my movies, the same way I promote every episode I've appeared doing for you, right?
Oh, I'm here for this.
Have I not?
You know I love this show.
Have I not?
I live for this.
Every
This
episode
is
I
our
appeared
pilot.
on.
This is our pilot right here.
The boo.
You see, I got that. Bitch, this is a pilot.
Oh, so this is why you did the whole production.
Bitch, I ain't cutting nothing out though. So you better be ready to defend yourself. When you talk about Michelle and that mental health.
Stop.
And you better be ready, because them trans sisters is coming.
Yes, you said training. You talking about women that can't have babies.
I was like, stop.
Let me tell you,
You thought you get them.
no. After 10 years of doing this,
Oh, I know.
You ready? You ready?
They done wrote articles. You would have done Ernest wrote.
yeah,
Y'all just stop. Baby.
they don't roll all on me. They didn't have blog videos about it. They didn't have forums
Wait,
about it.
They are tired of you.
Oh God. What? Really? But then they all seem to fuck with me.
But they like Charlamagne though.
And they all seem to
You
fuck
guys at
with
the end of the show. I'm tired of working for free.
Because he
Cut
might
it
want to
off.
sign us. Hold up, we gotta go.
Yes.
One,
If you can yourself, you gotta get it.